Hello, 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 folks. Welcome back once again to more Timberborn, where we are currently, that's right, we were contemplating about robots and the construction thereof over here on Red Mountain. Yes, that was the name we ended up going with, Red Mountain. I'm thinking about setting up our robot factory, figuring all this stuff out over here on these little metal platforms out over this Badwater Lake we've set up here. And I think we'll jump straight into that. We've got a couple of other things I kind of want to do. Got a couple of other districts that still kind of need building up. Some more kind of well-being stuff, and maybe even the Wonder if we get that far today. But so, as part of this system, we're going to need bot part factories. One for each of these. Yeah, the chassis, the limbs, and the bot heads. The bot limbs produces a lot faster than the other two, but you need a lot more limbs, so it balances out. And then this is going to eat planks, gears, and metal blocks. A lot of planks and a lot of gears. Not as many metal blocks. He's going to need power. Then we'll need one bot assembler. Yes, just looking at these. Each of these produces, like, enough to keep 2 bot assemblers online. We produce 8 limbs over the course of the 36-hour work cycle, and we produce 2 heads and 2 chassis. We need 2 bot assemblers. And then we'll need charging stations to actually power the bots. Control tower. This will improve the performance of nearby bots. This can just be set somewhere up overhead. The grease factory is the other bot building. And this takes extract and canola oil. Yeah, in order to make grease, which is just a material consumed by bots. Okay, so these bot part factories will then require metal blocks, gears, and planks. We'll probably want to be producing both planks and gears on site. Those will want to be somewhere in the factory system. And we'll also, of course, want storage for all of this stuff. Yeah, so large industrial piles, pretty much just for planks through here, I reckon. I might just connect this up. Yeah, because that shortens ours a little bit around this way. So let's think about storage stuff. How are we going to arrange all this? We have some space back here like that. That'll be good for a large plank building. And then we'll want some gear storage too, somewhere nearby. Which can just be over here. And I know I'm doubling up on storage out this side for stuff we already have, but I do want the storage local to the factory. Try and make this all one bit of a complex. And then we'll need storage for the various bot parts we'll be producing. Just a small warehouse is probably fine for heads and chassis. Honestly, it's probably just fine for limbs too, but limbs are, yeah, a bit more plentiful. Yeah, so chassis, head, limbs. We don't need as much metal, so we could potentially bring in the metal from elsewhere. Let's just leave this like this for storage at the moment. Okay, and then bot part factories. Leave just here and here as a base 2, then we'll need to get a third one in somewhere. We are, of course, also looking at the 2 wood cutting things. Now, yeah, the lumber mill and the gear workshop cannot have anything built on top of them. These are ideal for a second story sort of structure. Okay. Let's get everything unlocked. 500 science, 750 science, 200 science, 1000 science, get the grease factory to 2000 science. Now, the grease factory, if I want this in the complex, we'll probably also want to think about getting a centrifuge in here too, since this requires the extract. And now, if we just get a couple of bot factories in position down the back there, I figure out how I'm going to get up onto higher floors as well. For now, I'll just put a path through here, but this might end up being a staircase of some design. Yeah, grease factory dimension like that. We get another bot part factory in here. Yep. And these will all run power between them, which is something we need to keep in mind. We're putting the power system in from this side. So if I make certain power buildings are more or less hooked up already, then I can just simply feed power in the back. I will need 2 bot assemblers. We cannot build things on top of these. So I will need to get up to a higher elevation somehow in order to make this work. Charging stations, yeah, the grease factory. Extracting canola oil storage tanks through here might also be necessary. Let's focus on getting up to a higher level. Yeah, so we can do something rather than like that little straight path. We can do something like this, and that'll keep like beavers able to walk between these 2 paths pretty efficiently, while also opening up the second floor. Yeah, and then you build up like that. Yep, and then we'll just need to think about slotting the rest of this stuff. So if we want to build up on top of these bot factories, we're going to need to go 1 floor higher still. Probably be like a staircase up here. And get me up to there. A couple of you. Okay, and then that gets me some space on top of these bot factories, which can end up as a couple of bot assemblers. Stick another one there just to break up the structure. I'll do a different building in the center there. You need to be like that. And I won't set these factories to actually do stuff until this building system is somewhat online. So then we're thinking industrial lumber mills, gear workshops. And I kind of want to feed power into these systems. And that would be simple enough to feed power across here if I can't get it to hook up directly. Does this need to be an actual platform? That might end up being a power thing in order to feed electricity, hydropower across into 2 buildings along here. Yep. Grease factory could live down the bottom, simple enough. Charging stations are small enough they can slot in around, just sort of wherever. We're already thinking about that centrifuge, so that could be our central building since it's a large 3x3 structure. Yeah, and let's do the power thing here. Delete that path. Delete that platform. Vertical power. Yep, then the path runs on top of that. And this gets us our industrial lumber mill and our gear workshop. Yep, get those hooked up to paths like so. Good, good, good. Yep, you're all good. You're all good. Now a grease factory. I do think we just install down the bottom in here. Then I'm going to need extract storage, canola oil storage. I'm going to need an income of bad water too, which can just be... This little pier could be a fun little bad water extraction point. It's a little bit out of the actual factory, but that's okay. We don't need to be pumping bad water directly into the factory. Liquid storage might end up being sectioned into an external component. And I'm trying to think, like, how much is this grease factory going to be drawing, really? Not too much. I probably do want medium storage, though. If only just for transportation purposes. Yeah, so we will stick the 2 tanks out the front, like that. One of these is going to be canola oil. One of these is going to be, nope, extract. Yeah, because we also need actual storage for the grease too, which is another liquid. Now a deep bad water pump. Yeah, I think I like the idea of attaching the pump out to this little pier we built. Deep bad water pump. Yeah, stick you there. And I'll need bad water storage. Can leave just to there. Bad water storage. Builder's going to be real busy through here for the moment. Whole lot of stuff. Like, some of these are quite expensive buildings. I mean, these assemblers are 200 resources in total to build. Okay. Now, actual grease storage, we still need to do. We still need to get some charging stations, get the control tower on top of all this, because I'm planning on having the bots make more bots through here. That'll be their first task. Yeah, centrifuge is in position. Yeah, I think this factory is very nearly almost done. So with that in mind, that's a good spot for a charging station, just in there. But we do need to get power into these two. I need to remember that. We can't just stick these down like, where we think they would look neat. We need to actually feed energy into them. I could do like platforms out along here in order to feed power in. Yeah. Yep, so like the factory partially extends across the road here, and that kind of brings this tank into the complex a bit more properly. Charging station, charging station, charging station. I want to do a medium storage tank for grease. You can just hook up to this line. Grease storage. Let's actually feed power into the back of this. Rather than disrupt the path, we'll just run the power over the top of it. Let you. Power. Yeah, vertical power shaft, vertical power shaft. Yeah, power goes in the back of the building there. And then this little one spot in here would be a decent location to stick a control tower in a moment. Yep, that should be good. We'll just kind of, before we get the system online and the building is actually ordered, just have the builders run around for a while and get this all set up. Now, we could get power kind of out through here if I wanted more bot charging stations. I'm just wondering where I want to put these. Because just 3 might not be sufficient. Like, I haven't built bots as the Ironteeth before, so I'm not too familiar with kind of how many of these charging stations we're going to need. I'll just leave those 3 at the moment. It'll be easy enough to install more later on. And we'll just let the builders slowly work away at that. And we did have the 1 contaminated beaver up here, who I'm going to need to send elsewhere to be cured. And let's see. Walton, you have some infrastructure. You can just... Yeah, accept a whole lot of contaminated beavers. If we get more contaminated beavers, go to Walton to be cured, please. And we'll see how well the power infrastructure up here holds up. We might need to get more power wheels to keep doing this, but like there's plenty more flow through this thing that we can actually utilize to make that work. Buildings unstaffed over here, huh? Yeah, you are currently... Yeah, just not quite maintaining enough of population. Take you up to 60, please. And I'm assuming... Okay, another unstaffed building over here. And I'm assuming most of these unstaffed buildings we're seeing are going to be in all the new buildings we just built over on Red Peak, but... Yeah, we have a whole lot of incapacitated beavers here at the moment, which is the problem. Let's just get another medical bed in. I won't order more beavers to go here. This should sort itself out in time. A couple more medical beds down there, please. Okay, building unstaffed. Okay, unstaffed building in the oil press. Down here in the floodplains. Yep, you are not maintaining enough. You need to go up to 34. Yeah, I built more buildings here, then just never updated the amount of workers you're actually requesting. Yep, 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 yep. Yeah, this new place just needs a lot more builders, beavers, general workers. Okay, up to 20 at the moment. We have some spare population hanging around. Not that much of it, though. And this place is going to need some more housing, too. Get a barracks in there at some point, builders, when you actually have the spare time. Yeah, you can see these lads slowly working away. Yeah, soon we'll have bots. So while that's being built, let's come over here to Canyon Town, which was our other new district, and this one is really not developed yet. And see, it's pretty much just a water pump and a few row houses. Along some trade, of course, which is keeping these guys actually supplied with food and stuff. I reckon we can figure out some more stuff to give these lads. I mean, I could potentially get them mining. I don't feel like setting that up yet. So what do we want the beavers over here doing? I mean, producing some of their own food might be a good start. I mean, this place is not really producing anything crop-wise. It does have good hydroponics income, though. Also trading out to here, which is like eggplants. And then down here at Terminus, this is producing a lot of food. I don't think it matters too much what sort of food you produce. I do need to remember you don't have a ready source of power, which actually I think does very much restrict the sort of food stuff we can produce. Even fermentation and the like is likely off the line. Wood cutting is happening all over the place. I don't think we really need to do timber here. Let's just get some kohlrabi bean growing. Stick a little farmhouse in there. Plant some kohlrabi crops over down here. And on that side of the mine too. And that should get you some food, and then we'll get the builders building a little bit of storage for various things. I probably want to cut down some of these dead trees around as well. That can be something else we can get happening here, because these little dead birch trees are just going to get in the way of all our construction efforts. Clear some of that stuff out, that stuff. Yeah, like that. Including those ones, please. Go up to 3. We'll need a few more workers to help keep all this online. Go up to 14. Yep, starting to run a bit low. This place could maybe grow berry bushes. That's something it could do. Yeah, some of it's green land. I know we can grow some berry bushes down across these cliffs, maybe. Yeah, I think I like the sound of that. Like, if we wanted... this is going to eventually fill up with water, so we can't do it there. But across here, down here, and then on this little path down here, we can grow some berries. Now, actually getting down here is going to require doing something new to this staircase. Yeah, you need to be recessed one further back. Like so. Builders will handle that eventually too. Yep, farmer's going to go plant some stuff for me. I do kind of want wood cut and done here, so that can be a little bit of a priority. We just need to get these trees down. Hopefully don't chip your teeth while you're doing this. Okay, bit of storage. That can be some kohlrabi. Kohlrabi there. And this is just going to be a little kind of hamlet which trades between various larger districts to each side of it. Yeah, you get some of this stuff built. Oh yeah, you're going to need plank storage too, aren't you? I mean, just a small industrial pile should be more than sufficient for our purposes here. Yeah, little plank store. Probably want a little gear storage too, just as future-proofing. Less certain where to put that though. We'll just leave that plank storage at the moment. Yeah, they are trading planks through here, so they managed to get access to some of them anyway. And now we destroy you. Get rid of that path too, since that's no longer doing anything. And we'll get some stairs down. Yep. Yeah, not that's location. Next tile across, like so. Hook you up. Yep. And then... yeah, then we just need to figure out how we're going about the planting thing here. This might... yeah, I think this is going to need to involve dynamiting some of this area out. Because I need to get beavers around the back of here. I mean, I could do some stuff with spiral stairs in order to make that work. Rather than dynamite, maybe. Yeah, if I put the forester up here, you're not reaching that far across all of this. So honestly, a forester through here, if I dynamite out these two locations, might be ideal. Yeah, that might have to be the case. Then we do a little spiral like down there, and that opens up this path. Good, you are done. Delete that. Yeah, kohlrabi storage. Be nice and full. You guys need water storage. You don't have any yet. We can get you a medium tank for water storage. Which means we will probably want some gear storage now too. Just mess around with some paths for a second. If we get some people in there, yeah, then we have a little, like, one tile in here. It's going to be a small warehouse for gear storage. If I'm planning on doing dynamite, I can just do 2 one-tile explosions. I don't need to bother getting extract in here, I don't think. This is meant to be a bit of a trade hub, though, so we'll get a medium tank for extract as well, and you can store a decent quantity of it. You can store a decent quantity of it somewhere. just in here behind the other tank. And a small warehouse for explosive storage. Yep, leave those builders to slowly work away at some of that stuff. How's this coming along? Well done, lads. Yeah, this stuff is mostly online now. Yeah, you're just getting the power systems in. And the last tank, a couple of these things. Ah, we need metal parts, of course. Small warehouse. That spot there. Metal parts. You see the big pile of grease in top of the grease factory. I wonder what this building's going to look like once it's actually functioning. Yeah, this place needs a whole lot more workers. Well, once the building's done, we can strip some workers out of this builder's hut. They'll reclaim a few. And once the robots come online, we'll need even fewer. Building, building, building. I want some medical beds and stuff for all the workers in the meantime too. Well, that's going up, so we'll get some of those penciled in. Yeah, you're waiting on metal parts as well. Medical beds. Somewhere, anywhere. A solid row of 5 down along that street. Yeah, power seems to be going into the system. Everything should be hooked up to each other correctly. Let's start getting some of these factories running. So your bot chassis place. Your bot limbs. Your bot heads. Okay, and these guys will start working away. We'll reclaim a couple of builders here. Migrate some more workers in. Yep. Yeah, and too many homeless beavers even after this barracks, but let's let them get that built up first before I request another house. And we'll kind of see how the power system keeps up at this point. Like, not everything's going to be online yet. These bot assemblers aren't going to come online until they have their ingredients made. You can see this factory is chugging away. Received everything at once, and like the gears are turning down in there. Yep, and you can see it is in fact turning the grease through the thing at the top. And there's some grease manufactured for us. We're cutting planks and cutting gears. And this is going to chew through a lot of this stuff now. But hopefully this should keep it fairly efficient. I managed to trade in bad water even before this thing comes online. Metal parts are up to. Haulers would also be useful here, just because the amount of stuff we're having to transport around. And if I wanted to get a hauling post built up here, that can just live somewhere, anywhere, right there. Yeah, right there. Hauler's post. Just get a few more of you up and about. And drop the amount of workers we're requesting even further. I think we'll just stick with 4 workers, same as any other district. But 1 comes from the builder's hut, because you can have a minimum of 1 worker without disabling the building. Yeah, and metal parts coming in, and this stuff starting to be built. Nothing to do in range. Oh. Yeah, we built this forest down here a while ago, didn't we? Yeah, I don't imagine you do have much to do at this point. Tell you what, we can oak tree this as well. Gonna get more corn in, it's probably going to be along here. So. A few more oak trees planted out here. We'll get like some plants just growing along here. Reforest this stuff. You see water's slowly starting to flow back through the system now that the drought has ended. Yeah, cancel, cancel, and we don't need you anymore. Let's just delete you. Free up a worker for something else. Yeah, and this thing seems to be working away comfortably. Yeah, you can see the demand is occasionally jumping right up to what this system can supply at the moment. Honestly, some power storage might not go amiss for this. Wait, what am I looking at if I wanted to get a gravity battery? Yeah, that's affordable enough. I'm thinking we're just going to temporarily disrupt this whole system in order to do vertical power shafts along there and install a gravity battery on top of them, please. Get a little bit of leeway in all this. Now if we head back down to Canyon Town. Yeah, they're working away pleasantly. They got water level drops. We've lost some of the kohlrabi. Get another kohlrabi in there. Now let's do the spiral staircase thing I mentioned across here to free up this bit of the system. Spiral stairs, yeah, you go like that, and then like that. Yeah, and then the path through there, yep, now means beavers can access both sides of this system. Yeah, you're storing everything we need for the explosives too. Get a couple of double dynamites in there. Builders work their way through this. You want treated plank storage too, probably. Though you should have some treated planks just passing through here. Like, nothing at the moment you don't seem to reckon, so yeah, we will need some storage. Small industrial pile. Squeeze you in there. Treated planks. Detonate you. Cool. And we're going to get a forester in here. And your job is to plant some blueberries for me. Yeah, just along here, through there. I don't need those paths. Oh, I don't know what I clicked there, but just cancel that. I think it was just one of the stairs by the cost. Blueberry. I don't need this little bit of scaffolding anymore. We can tear that down. Remove these paths since they're just taking up space. Yeah, and then blueberries right through this little bottom patch here as well. And then across here. Yep, and then we'll just figure out where to put some foragers to help gather some of this once these are planted. And yeah, that'll be nice. Contaminated beaver is hopefully going to be less contaminated. We do just need water flowing through here, which should be online before too long. Get flow and power down into that system. Yeah, we're just chewing through all the planks we have in storage, aren't we? Oh, we do have some there. So we've got some spare planks. Once we get our log production online here, we should be a lot better too for like those things, because we'll be able to like be cutting logs we're producing locally in this lumber mill. Ooh. Hello, Isu. Hello, folks. How was against the storm today? How's all that going? Let me get the lumberjacks in here while I remember. I think a couple should do nicely. Yeah, you can reach all of that. Just get those flags in. Did not rotate you the correct way. Yep. That's settlement 1. No. Good. It's the game definitely has a bit of a learning curve, and the difficulty does kind of keep progressing, but I find Against the Storm really satisfying to kind of get that bit of a plan in. It is also one of those games that, because it has the meta progress stuff, it does get easier as you go on, even as the difficulty increases, just because you have a few more tools, a little bit more quality of life stuff comes online. But I'm certain you'll get the handle of it. You can see the bot assembler is online now. I mean, offline now that it's nighttime, but that was turning around, producing 29% of the way. Yep, 29% of the way to getting our first bot out. Excellent. And yeah, that gravity battery should help keep the efficiency up high as we get these weird little power spikes through the system. Oh yeah, made it up to harpies. Yeah, I'm trying to think. The harpies, honestly, I tended to find just the base species, races, whatever, in Against the Storm possibly the most effective. The harpies were always rather fragile, though I never messed around too much with the various DLC stuff, because there are a bunch more added through DLCs. Like, there's so many vacancies still here. I am just going to need to try and request some more workers. Keep this system online. Luckily, we have the beavers spare to pull that off. Definitely need some more housing, though, now. It is just 10, so another barracks. Or stick another barracks in there. That should keep that online. Oh yeah, the little bot factory is now online, progressing well. Look at all those moving parts coming together. Oh, mechanical beaver being built. Soon. Not today, tomorrow. That one's going to be online and ready. Means it's probably about time to bother getting this control tower up too. I'll just slap you in the middle of the system. Alright, I'm just looking at this thing. Something might also be fun to do here is a little bell. Like, if I want to build this bell, though, that might also want to go in the exact middle just so it reaches everything. Yes, if we do a bell there, and then I'm going to need to do a platform above the bell to stick the little control tower on. Or I could stick maybe the control tower off to this side. Yeah, I think that's a bit more central. Too high like that? Drop you down to a 1 high, since we can just do a 1 high on that location. Yep, get that thing built. Yeah, I like the appearance of that. And that's going to be fun. Now, making the bots produce more bots is going to be, yeah, real science expensive. Like a bot factory, the way you enable bots to work in workplaces is you spend science on them. Yeah, botception. Bots will make more bots and then kind of keep expanding from there. Mostly to get rid of really high injury chances all the bot manufacturing buildings have, since bots will not get injured. But you spend science to enable bots to work in a workplace. Like, the centrifuge costs 1.5k, and like, oh, that's a lot. But then you look in the bot assembler, 10k. And it's 10k each. And then these bot factories, 5k. So let's just go through and spend a lot of this stuff. Iron bot. Yep. Where is Ironbot 1? Here we go. First robot. Oh no, you're right. It does apply to both, doesn't it? Okay, so that's cheaper than I thought it was going to be, in which case we can easily afford to get this stuff going. It is per type. It's been a while since I last messed around with bots on my last save, so I misremembered how that worked. Yeah, now, as you can see, it's the middle of the night, off work hours, and that bot is still manufacturing. So that's going to be a substantial increase to the throughput between the lack of injury and the fact these guys now work 24 hours a day. Like, once the second bot's online, we can again go to other work types, and yes, we should have plenty of spare science. Now, this control tower is going to eat some of our science, 3 per hour. Like, a number cruncher produces 10 per hour, though. We have a number cruncher online pretty permanently. A couple of inventors scattered around somewhere. We're not actually working on anything. We need to get more beavers over here. Yeah, we do. Yeah, reserve up to 49, please, topside. Keep all your workplaces online. But just this one control tower shouldn't cut into us too badly. If I want to send beavers elsewhere, then it's just a matter of rigging up another number cruncher or two to support more control towers. That will all function fairly automatically. Yes, you can see the beaver has this, rather than a lifespan, it has this durability meter, which will slowly decrease, and the bot will malfunction, die, stop working once that reaches 0. Yeah, so basic need for power, which is what you use these recharging stations for. As well as a need for grease and the control tower. You'll go and fill up grease. If you're near the control tower, you'll get that boost. And these are just increasing their, like, stuff here. So you can see condition 1 plus 60. Once the control tower's online, they'll go up to plus 80 movement speed and up to plus 170% working speed if both of these are functional. That'll be very good for us. Nothing to do in range. Yeah, you're waiting for the trees to come in, that's fine. How's berry planting going down here? Managed to get all the bushes? I think you have, yes. In which case we... Ooh, you know what? I was going to say we no longer need you, but I'm not using any of this for anything. Get some mangroves in here too. Might as well get some mangrove fruits out of here for putting foragers' huts and stuff through here. Yeah, mangrove. Sure, just like that'll do. Okay, that forester gets to stay for a moment longer. Yeah, so many injured beavers. That would be... Let's see, what are we looking at? Where's... Only 5 incapacitated here. I'd expect it to be a little bit higher. I mean... What are we doing injured beaver? 8 incapacitated over here in 3 peaks. Apparently the workers are not doing well here. This is another district that could potentially make use of beavers. I mean, the mines especially, they injure so many beavers. And we have the centrifuge right next to it. Potentially get some beavers down here. The mining station. Probably wouldn't mind having some beavers on hand to operate its mines. Fast forward through the night. Oh, let's keep moving on. See that control tower? Now online. Signaling out orders to the bots nearby. Very soon you're going to be fully operational. I hear the bell ring as the workday begins. That is such a fun little detail that the bells do that. There we go. Ironbot 1, Ironbot 2. Yeah, you have a good day, so thanks again for the raid and all that. Beaver bots, gonna work their hardest. Now, let me get a good look at you close up. Look at the little guy. Standing there all mechanical. His little wooden feet and hands and like legs. Oh, and his little wooden ears too. Look at that. Good beaver. Yeah, now you're waiting on the bot chassis. Yeah, that'll probably be the next part to automate is the actual factories. Right, because now that we have like one of these operating a bit more efficiently, this is accepting stuff more than like the factories can output. Especially the fact that you're bloody injured. Yeah, you're working away. Yeah, once these are online, the efficiency for the factories will start matching the assemblers. And okay, yep, you can see we're now up to 3 bots. I mean, you're currently not requesting anyone, so you can be the first to flip over to using bots. Now, you just went offline too, so I guess that can be the next one, the arms factory. Yep. Bots will make more bots. Are these cool blue lights an actual like sign this building's being automated? I'll need to check to see when this building's being run by normal beavers if you're also displaying the blue lights. Yeah, I think the blue lights might be a beaver, a robot beaver indicator, because like you see the blue on the control tower too. Yeah, injured beavers running around. Yep, look at that, yellow lights when it's run by non-mechanical beavers. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, you're going to be spitting out another robot shortly. And they're going to be operating the limbs factory. Yep, Ironbot. On you go. And this whole system should really start freeing up workers, cutting down on the amount of poor injured beavers lying in these medical beds. So bad for them. That one has an injured tail. Poor little Jamoke. Yeah, you're still waiting on the trees to come in. How's mangrove planting going? Got that cleared out? Looks like you have. So let's get a forager flag in here. Just do the one for the moment. We'll see if you can keep up. Yep, these guys happily working away at all this stuff. Probably just want some more storage in here too. Like, yes, blueberry storage, mangrove storage. Now they've got that stuff on. Let's get you sorted out. A warehouse there and there. You are blueberry storage. You are mangrove storage. I might just get, since I am producing blueberries here, not quite yet, but I mean, you'll import some in the meantime, and then this will come online shortly. A couple of breeding pods online in this district. Children can be born in Canyon Town. Unstaffed building, yeah, the smelter. This place still has a lot of injured beavers. Yeah, that one's almost ready. Yeah, once this flips, we'll get another beaver working here, and then we just need 2 more robot beavers on this assembler. And then we can start looking at like this grease factory, the lumber mill, the gear workshop. And see, that one's recharging now at the charging station. And it plugs itself in, then it turns the gears inside it, winds it back up again, ready to go. And I just need to keep a bit of an eye. If all 3 of these are ever occupied, then that's probably a good indicator that we need to get a 4th one. But they seem to hold their charge pretty well. One more %. There we go. Automate you, Ironbot 5. When that passes to 7, I need to remember to come back and 6, so 1 more, and figure that out. So, what else do we want to do? Now, the one thing I was also thinking about maybe getting done today, the Earth Repopulator. This is our big structure. And we have chewed through a lot of gears, so we don't readily have enough for this. But I might just get this blueprint down and we can see it kind of be built up, and then end of the stream, we'll fire this thing off. Yeah, out here on this little corner of this structure, I think. Could do it up there. Like that, maybe? Yeah, do I want you on the high ground or down on the low ground? I think actually up on that high ground maybe looks a little bit more visually interesting. Yeah, so we'll just get this blueprint in, centered like that. 20,000 science, unlock you. Yeah, and then we have stairs leading up into it. And we'll get beavers to this via a path there. Tubeway station. Yeah, we'll just exit straight into it like that. We want to run tubeway through the back of like that. And that'll hook up. And yeah, and this is our victory condition. The Earth Repopulator launches pioneers to distant lands. When launched, make beavers in the area extra happy. This way you'll even hit the farming terrace. I'm really not too concerned about its coverage. Just this is its aesthetics, and yeah, up there looks good. Now, while we're waiting on all this, let's think about some well-being stuff. Right, so average well-being is 30 is good. But as you can see, a lot of this stuff is quite low for the amount that's actually being exposed. Beaver statues we managed to get quite high. I built quite a few of those scattered around roofs too now. Exercise plaza, we don't have any mud baths. Oh, that's something we can give some beavers somewhere. Yeah, so the mud bath consumes dirt, which is being manufactured over here on this dirt excavator. It consumes 0.5 per hour. I don't know why they didn't just do uses 1 every 2 hours, but it works out to be the same. You produce 4 per 3 hours. We might want some more beavers. Gathering up some dirt. Just because this is going to chew through a lot of our supply. I mean, I guess we hardly ever use the stuff. And this also needs power. Just 50, but it does need some power. Who looks like they could enjoy the mud bath? I mean, the obvious place might just be here on the mining station, and this place does have awful well-being. I honestly don't mind these beavers having awful well-being. This isn't meant to be a big industrial place, and the mud bath is a little bit of an awkward structure to feed power to and stuff if I want to put it underground, which I would to keep the aesthetic here. So a mud bath over on the farming terrace. A mud bath down here could also be good. Yeah, this place only has an average well-being of 26. Ooh, almost as bad as mining station. Yeah, I think this place is going to be the benefactors for a new spa. Unlock you. This requires haulers. We have a hauling station. You need to feed power into this. Wait, if we do this back here, then we get the power simply enough. Ah, okay. We do need some special consideration for actually getting beavers up here. Because as you can see, this is a raised structure. The access is not at ground level. It is on the level above. If we explode out the ground underneath it, that could work. But then I would have trouble feeding power into it. Let's just build you up like that. And then I can get some decoration, which will hit both of these structures. Just... you don't seem to be highlighting the building next to you, the spa. I build you up. Will that work? Okay, it just does not highlight it. Yeah, we'll get a little shrub in there, and that will cover the motivatorium and hopefully the mud bath as well. And I'll raise up the average well-being in this district a tad. Food, rep fur is good in this district. They don't have coffee. I could do some scratches, maybe. Do any roof stuff. I've used up the big roof slot there, though. And I like the appearance of that. Bells, beaver statues, lanterns. This will help the shrub a bit. We could also order some lanterns to be built around. Sure, I'm unlikely to extend this road any further out, so we can have a little street lamp there. We can have a little street lamp over here, which will hit those houses. And just some street lamps scattered around the actual streets of town. Street lamp in next to those stairs or in here. I like in that corner, I think. Yep, get some of those built. And that'll help get our well-being through here done even better. Let's see, where else to think about well-being? Over here is also pretty bad at 24. I wanted to raise well-being here. Yeah, wet fur. Campfire, rooftop terrace. No fun buildings at all. They do have rooftop, they do have beaver statue. Let's just get them a couple of nice little buildings. Well-being. I can't put campfires on top of roof. They need to be on ground. Do a campfire up here. Bit unconventional out of the way, but I don't hate that. Maybe some scratches. I can maybe do a swimming pool or something in here, or even just a shower. Yeah, the little winding path up the cliff does not leave us with too much in the way of spare room. It does not, it does not. And tell you what, a little rooftop terrace in there. Get that done. Get a little shrub or a lamp. A little shrub just built in there. That's a couple of things, and then we can get a scratcher just in there. I want to keep at least some of that space open. We can get a little scratcher tucked in under that platform as well. Yeah. That'll make these folks slightly happier. Slightly. Keep the time ticking along so their staff progresses somewhat. Yeah, we should have, 7 beavers now. Cool. So that's a lot of this stuff all automated now. The actual production. Then I think we'll do our 2 other incomes here. Yeah, lumber mill starts off unlocked. I think there's a couple of buildings that start off with bot access. We need more gears. We just ticked up to 8, so let's unlock the gear workshop and we'll swap that one over to Ironbot 8. Yeah, the beaver's working away. Centrifuge is a big source of injuries, so I probably want to get that running too. Yeah, stuff progressing well. Yep, you guys got all of that stuff done, so hopefully beavers should start getting a tiny bit happier on average through here. Look at that, mud bath. Yeah. Wow, this services a lot for a small building. And what's the bonus for the mud bath? +3. Pretty good. Not as much as the exercise plaza. And are you guys getting your shrub need met while you're here? Yes, you are. Okay, yeah, now it's highlighted. It just was not obvious before while it was still blueprinted. Yep, lots of aesthetic stuff. These little, lanterns are quite cool just to scatter around the settlement. Help keep everything looking neat. Yeah, this district has its tribute to ingenuity, which is really kicking up the average well-being. We just look at this, yeah, wet fur, no. A lot of injured beavers, which is actually having a noticeable impact on average well-being. There's so many injuries. Could get a detailer in here, maybe. I think this district is okay, yeah. +8 from the tribute to ingenuity. Terminus does not have much. What Terminus could stand to possess is just one of these labourer monuments, like looking out down the river, perhaps, like that. It won't quite hit the houses, tragically. I could build the labourer monument up on top of the roofs. Yeah, that's a bit more central, and I like the appearance of that. You cannot reach that, so we'll need to scaffold up in order to get that built. Scaffolding up there can just run... How do I want to run that? Maybe... Yeah. Yeah, we do one high there. Then we spiral up to here. And then you spiral up again. And you go too high. And that should definitely reach. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Leave you to figure that stuff out. 28 down here in Lower Wellspring. 25 up here. Not that impressive, even after getting, you a swimming pool and stuff. Getting some use out of the campfire, rooftop terrace, swimming pool, roof, beaver bust. Honestly, you're not that bad. It is just a lack of, good decorative buildings of some sort. We get another beaver statue in here, or maybe a clock or something. Let's just get you a clock built there. That'll make everyone quite happy. This place could maybe stand to have a clock too. Well, no, you already have a town clock down here. Yeah, and I like that position for a town clock. And what could we do in Lower Wellspring then? You don't have an exercise plaza. That could be a nice little structure to get online for you. And we can squeeze one just in there. Get you like that. Yep. And then we'll just need to do a little bit of decoration around the edge of this, because we have this little one wide thing through there. Like lanterns and shrubs. We do just have these fences. You are already fenced in though. It's like another fence around this fence in the actual structure, maybe not ideal. We'll do a light there. And then a shrub in there. And that will capture some of that. And I think a couple more lanterns scattered around this settlement would also be good. A lantern there, a lantern there. A lantern up there. A lantern in that corner, maybe? Builders can't reach, and I can't be bothered scaffolding in just to build that little thing. Throw a lantern overlooking that path too. Get that built for me. Oh, we have some more robots online. Yeah, your Ironbot 8. We'll get Ironbots 9 and 10 manning that, and we just got another robot too. And I want to get 2 online and then maybe switch over to the centrifuge to using robots as well. See the grease storage building up. Oh, good, good, good. Yeah. No, nothing to do in range. Why do only you complain you have nothing to do in range? Oh, is it? It's because I never assigned tree cutting area. That's why. It's not because there's no trees. Woodcutters don't just complain about that. It's they complain if they have no trees assigned to be cut nearby. Okay, that's that salvaged. Well, looking about, and I kind of checked on that one a few times and I just figured out what it was actually trying to tell me. Yeah, the Labourer Monument is coming online there. Yep, statues, statues. 29 while being down here in Lowtown. They do have coffee. Gotcha, mud bath, wind tunnel, motivatorium, swimming pools. Nothing really in the way of roof, but a lot of our rooftop is taken up by other stuff, especially over here. Could get a statue of some sort in. Right, yeah, we can get up on top of this rooftop. Right, through this little bit of scaffolding. Or do I want to do a monument like the Flame of Unity? Or do I want to just do some smaller like decoration stuff? Beaver statues. I think this is a good spot for a monument. So Labourer Monument, Flame of Unity here, I think. Build you in that corner. Yep, build that thing up. That'll get more beavers happy. Average well-being should be rising here a bit now. Yeah, I've got campfire usage. Rooftop terrace has been getting a lot of usage. Even the scratches are decent. And see a lot of beavers moving into that rooftop terrace down there. Good, 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 good. Yeah, this place is now real happy up on 32 average well-being. 38 here. Full of more beavers spare to do stuff with. Now, just looking at the supplies we have for everything. Coffee beans. Like so. Actual coffee, we have like fully maxed out storage for all this stuff. Like, you just have a little bit of coffee. We can probably like try and get coffee spread a lot further than it currently is. Yeah, you guys have a lot of coffee. You guys have a lot of coffee. You guys are good on coffee. This district does still need a bit more fleshing out. I might think about that in a second. These guys are real low well-being down here in the floodplains, including a complete lack of coffee. Right, that can be the first thing we assign to you. A medium coffee tank built somewhere, anywhere, as per usual. And then that can be a little one space I might potentially use for something if I ever remember it's there. That can be coffee. We want to get trade running between these two districts. That's another thing we want to handle. So at the moment you are only trading out this way. Well, I mean, and out here. Right? Yeah. We have like trade up to here, trade down to here. You can trade onto the lowlands too. Since you are so proximal, we'll just want to get like some tubeway stations. Okay, so that's a whole power complex. I probably want to try and avoid that at least a little bit. I guess we can have the district crossing be on this side. We need to leave space for that dead birch tree. And then we will have the other end, little tubeway station. Yep, just to there. Path through that. And then we just do vertical tubeways. Right up to there, into there. And we'll just do a straight line across. Yep, and that'll connect up these two districts. Get some trade run between these. Definitely don't need 4 running on each direction on this. Drop you to 2. Yeah, we have 3 unemployed bots at the moment. Let's spend 1.5k science. Getting bots in the centrifuge. Yep, your bot, your bot. Yeah, it is just grease now, I think. And then this whole little complex is going to just be like bots making more bots quite sustainably. And we now have a lot of unemployed beavers here. I might just decrease the amount you're currently requesting. I should be able to come up with a couple of other things you guys do. We'll drop you down to 25. Right, they're not going to go anywhere at this point because there's nowhere else requesting them to emigrate out. Okay, see the medical beds are now emptying out because we have less beavers in dangerous work. How's the power system holding up here? Yeah, we are still supplying more than we're using. This gravity battery is just a nice little buffer, just in case. And these charging stations, yeah, you can see they're all having plenty of downtime. The closest one is the most used, and this one is sometimes used, and then there was one point in time where the third furthest was used. So just those 3 are keeping up nicely for our demands. There we go, 2 extra beavers, 2.5k, swap you over. Yeah, and this place is now fully automated. We can start thinking about moving beaver bots elsewhere. How's this construction coming along? Slowly is the answer. Workers are working their hardest. Just transporting materials in. Metal blocks, treated planks. Bit by bit by bit, this structure should be built up. Yep, that stuff all coming along. And yeah, now that we have just like these beavers milling around, not doing much, we can think about maybe getting some well-being stuff built up here too. Oh, just need to stretch my shoulder a little bit. A little twinge in my arm there. So it's plenty of open space up here. So if I want to get an exercise plaza or something in, there's nothing really stopping me. I could even build one on top of this whole little complex I built up here. I'd slap one in over here, like looking down the cliff. I think I like the idea of an exercise plaza built on top of this stuff. It means I'll need to get beavers up there. Let's just do some staircase nonsense like that. We'll be in exercise plaza in, sure, that corner. Yep, and they'll connect up like that. Get that stuff handled for me. This place could probably also just be fine with a little bit of coffee or something in it. So we'll get just more storage tank, make use of that little space there. You are coffee storage. We have all our housing across on this side. Want to get some decoration in. Like, just you there might not be bad. Yeah, you do not quite cover everything. If I built a little platform in the street one further down, a little beaver statue there would do wonders. Yeah, look at that. It covers all the housing. Get that beaver statue built. Oh, we'll just have a little fire tucked in the back there. And eventually get that done. I don't know if these guys will bringing in any scrap metal for us to store, so we'll slap down a small industrial pile to store some scrap metal too. That should hopefully get done. Yeah, everything ticking along nicely. All the pretty blue lights shining through out of this factory. More and more bots being produced. You know, I'll let a few build up and then I might dispatch a load of bots. Yeah, let's say down here. I mean, the next bot place. I'll get a little control tower or something in here. Kind of turn some of these workplaces to bot places. In preparation for that, we're going to need to get grease down here. Rather than producing locally, I reckon we're just going to focus on exporting since we have plenty of grease being made here. So, yeah, we'll get some grease storage up here on top side. Another medium tank. Yeah, I cannot squeeze you in there because I built that little light there, but I do like having the lantern just there. So what? Yep, grease storage in that location. Grease. And do actually get that done in preference to this thing for the moment. Yeah, and I'll also get grease down here if I want to stick bots in those mines. Yep, and then we'll get grease storage down here too. Like this little complex is the other obvious place to maybe stick some bots. It's still fairly compact, could be readily covered by a single control tower. You are grease storage. And I'll want to stick some grease storage down here. I'm just thinking if I wanted to get like beavers down here, actually, I might need to destroy this medical bed. Just looking at this, just to simplify the pathways here a tiny bit. Sorry to the beaver who was actively using that thing. And get a little medical bed next to this spot maybe to make up for that. Because I feel bad for that. Yeah, but that gets me access up here. And then we can do a single path over there. Storage. Medium tank. Free storage. Excellent. If I just look at overall the amount of stuff we currently have. Food. Everything is good. Algae rations is still the lowest thing. That's just because I haven't really distributed them out that far yet. You know what? This place could maybe use some algae ration storage. You're next to the algae ration place. Let's do medium warehouse. Slap you just to there. Algae rations. Store some of those, please. Yeah, blueberry bushes. Almost growing. Mangroves getting there too. Cultivation halted. Lack of workers. Yeah, we do just need some more people working down here. Yep, injuries, all that stuff. We have 4 unemployed bots now. I guess I'll... Yep, that's built up. We'll get a tower installed in here. Science control tower. Probably build you in slightly. If I build you here, you hit a lot of space, including like the factories down on this side. Builders won't be able to reach that though. Oh, just tucked in there is also pretty cool. If I just build up a little spot there, what does a control tower here hit? Okay, it does still hit all the manufacturing down there. A lot of stuff up here. Yeah. Install a control tower just there, please. Yeah, and then we'll be able to get this mine online. We'll be able to get this centrifuge online. 1k. All good. Probably want to start thinking about getting some more science income too, possibly. Hey, we have lots of spare beavers over here. Yeah, this is a little slow to construct just because, like, these folks are chewing through a lot of the materials. But if we just go science, like, just some inventors turn beavers into science, like labor. Not bad. Sure. Bulk out this section a little bit. Get a couple of inventors built in there. Yeah, 6 spare beavers. Oh, you cannot reach that, can you? Huh. Apparently not. That's a bit awkward. I kind of built that there on the assumption they'll be able to easily reach that thing. If I raise you any further up inside, like, this lumber mill is going to be out of reach of us. I guess let's try and scaffold this thing. By deleting the medical bed that I just built here to replace the other one, of course. Yep, up there. Yep, we can see the grease is starting to come in. Now, I do want some beavers working away here. I'm also going to need to get them charging stations. So, the simplest way to do that is probably just... And we'll just do standard paths along there. And then need to delete that thing for the moment. Get a vertical power shaft there. Then like that. And then, yep, a row of charging stations just like that. Oh, let the builders sort this stuff out one bit at a time. I'll dispatch the bots over here. Bot is out of power. Oh, apparently we are... Okay, just not quite keeping up here. I need another power thing here. Yeah, all three are starting to come online now, so... If I can squeeze a couple more of these things out somewhere. And we do need to be able to physically reach them. That is something to keep in mind. I could just do it something like that. It's a bit lazy, but what we can do. Are you going to draw power from the spot next to you? No, apparently this transmits electricity, which is interesting. I didn't realize that, but... Yeah, we'll just go the boring route. Stick another couple of charging stations just down there. Yeah, these things are now fully occupied a decent chunk of the time. Yeah, you see how slow the low power bot is moving? Minus 75% movement speed. Yeah, a couple of them are low on power now. It's also just that we have spare bots too over there, so... Yeah, we're getting these things online. Well, good. I reckon it's time to get some bots over here, so... You're requesting 4 bots, and then we'll want another 2 bots, and then... You know, get some of that stuff on. Another 1 bot. And then the lumber mill, another 2 bots. Another bot. There's 3, 4, 8, 10 robots over here in total. 3 Peaks would like to request 10 bots. Yep, and you only... Oh, we need to... I never set reserve amount of bots here. We need to do that in preference. Yeah, because we now have vacancies. 1 second. Okay, so 3 Peaks. Drop that down to 6 bots, please. Yeah, Red Mountain is never to drop below 14 bots. Yeah. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, that should keep this system online for the moment. Bell ringing briefly as we pass overhead. And we currently have 4 unemployed bots here. Let's just swap this thing over too. Yeah, so bots working in the mine, bots working in the centrifuge. We'll get still a couple more bots. Let's get 1 working in the tree-to-plank place, 1 working in the smelter. I can maybe do the lumber mill too at some point in the future. Whole lot of flying beavers enjoying themselves down here. And see, we have a ton of unemployed beavers now. With the bots coming online and kind of automating out our workforce. It's like a lot of beavers without anything to do, but luckily, the beavers don't mind that. If they're unemployed, that just means they get more leisure time. They get to run around and enjoy themselves. We do a lot of homeless beavers, though. Whereabouts is that happening? In some of our beaver producing settlements? Yeah, we have 5 homeless beavers over here on topside. That's some of them. Let's see. We can squeeze a house in just to here. Let's get a large row house so it lasts a little bit longer. Farming terrace, how are you doing for population? You got... Nope. You're good. I check down here. No, no homeless here. Up here, also no homeless. A homeless beaver over here. We'll sort that out. Housing. We'll just get... Oh, another little row house squeezed in next to the other ones. No homeless beavers here. Yeah, down here, lower wellspring, bunch of homeless beavers. Yeah, let's make use of that little part, at least somewhat. Get you in like that. And we can also get a little bit future-proof in. A little row house in somewhere else. I'm trying to figure out where exactly I'd want to squeeze this. Like all the paths and stuff winding everywhere. Do a little row house on top of this thing. Let's just get a row house in there. Yeah, next to the street light. Maybe not the best location for it. That light is going to shine right in that beaver's window, whoever lives there, but help a bit. Yep, this stuff all sorting itself out. A little bit. You have a couple of vacancies. Floodplains. What are you currently sitting on? Yep, not requesting enough beavers. Yeah, because we set up new employment here in the district crossing. Yeah, and all 3 of these are in use. These ones showing a little bit of use, no use yet on that one. Yeah, hopefully that should keep up for the moment. Yep. And we are going to see a lot more scrap metal and stuff come in here. But we've also got this source with the extract being produced faster. We have the treated planks being produced a bit faster. Gear storage is really being strained at the moment. What we're having our builders do down here. And apparently I've passed a little bit of a turning point in the game, because you can probably tell a bit by the footage. Yeah, I'm just looking on the preview. Even on the footage that's coming through, the game is starting to chug a wee bit. Like, things are not running nearly as smoothly as they used to, at least not on 3 times speed. It's better if I drop down to just 1. But we didn't used to have this stutter when moving on high speeds, but we definitely do now. I probably need to get some more builders working on this thing. I mean, we have unemployed workers. Yeah, get that thing a little bit preferenced. House beavers are happy beavers. Now, do I have a builder's hut in this settlement somewhere already? Not that I can immediately see. Cannot immediately see it, it does not exist. That's how that works. So, not really the most important building to place correctly. Yeah, let's just get you down in there. Yep. I'll get some more workers building this thing, because this is going to take them a while. A whole bunch of beavers just died of old age as the day ticked over. We still have plenty of spares. Yeah, so that's that sorted out. Yeah. 3 beds. Come on, homeless beavers. Find your way there. There they go. That's most of our homelessness sorted. Here in our settlement, we're just gonna kick along more or less from this point. Still a few more things I can improve, little places to optimize, more buildings to help make people happier I can stick down here and there. Like, Canyon Town ain't very happy at all yet. Like, they have no well-being stuff at all, not really. Let's think about changing that for them. Now, well-being wise, this ain't a bad swimming pool settlement, not really. Like, I can get a little platform down in here. This is probably a place to do it. And then a little explosive one further back. Dynamite, and that'll be the stairs which lead down to this swimming pool. And then inside town proper, a little bit of decoration of some sort. All our houses are clustered quite closely together. I could stick rooftops on both of these. Stick something out the back here. Yeah, that would hit all of them. Make them quite happy. Oh, town clock. Oh, that does not quite reach if I build the town clock on that corner. Absolute tragedy. Do like beavers facing each way like this? You know what? Yeah, we'll be a little bit fancy here. Rooftop, rooftop, something like that for the tops of these. I'll just close that in with another rooftop. Now, beavers can't actually reach any of this, so we shall need scaffolding. As is the way. Now, I think just like that should be sufficient. A lot of this, if we do it like that, hopefully you can reach. If not, it's an easy enough thing to kind of raise up this slightly. Yeah, everyone out of the way. Cool. Stairs leading down. Get that stuff built too. Yep, and that'll make this district a tad happier for me. We could also maybe get campfire in somewhere. Ooh, that's a perfect spot for a campfire in on that corner. Yep, now we have a few more beavers spare. So I guess we'll automate that lumber mill and migrate, yep, up to 8 robots working down here at any one time, please. Right. More stuff we can mess around with. We could increase the output of the mine. We could get food factories and stuff producing 24/7. Hydroponic gardens seem to do pretty well. I don't actually know exactly how the tending here works. Like, if I select you... Okay, you are currently inside the building. So these might need to be actively manned to produce. Next places to do, however, are probably the mining station and then this little complex in here. We introduce some automation systems through this. Yeah, this does have grease. It is quite far away, however. Even just a little grease tanking closer would also be useful. Also looking at getting like power systems through this in order to get Yeah, somewhere for power charging stations. Let's think about that. It's like we have this row along here. We could also feed power up to here and then like have a row of 3 charging stations up the top. Don't mind that at all. Let's start getting that organized. In a row of 4. It's like we demolish that path since that's not immediately doing anything. You need to hook up like that. We'll get a row of charging stations. Install 4 along there. And we just need to slap a control tower somewhere in the center. We just raise up a little platform, stick this. Apparently, there was in fact a spot which I just accidentally clicked on. You know what? Fate has decided. That's where that control tower lives. Now with 3 control towers, we're pretty much exhausting our number cruncher. Especially during droughts, it's not operating. Like once that's online, I wouldn't mind getting another number cruncher somewhere. Or just a lot more inventors' huts like these. These produce 1 an hour. Of course, you do need more than 3 inventors' huts to actually keep a control tower online, because inventors' huts, unless they're manned by robots, will only be online during work hours, whereas the control tower will be draining round the clock. So in actuality, you're going to need a couple more inventors' huts, like 5 to 1 or thereabouts, depending on exactly how busy you're keeping your beavers, of course. We have so many spare beavers. We could... Yeah, 72 unemployed. 72. I can just pop down some more inventors' huts. Wherever I have a little convenient 2x2 space. I wouldn't mind filling. That wouldn't be a bad spot for one. Close in that gap. How about down here? Yeah, you have a couple of spare beavers as well. Let's figure this out. Yeah, we can stick an inventor's hut down there. Another one up there. Keep a couple of beavers busy just as well. Yep, they built this Labour monument too, which is looking nice and scenic for our lads. This place is producing children and stuff, so it should pretty routinely have a surplus of beavers. So let's just get the inventor's hut down there. And those handful of inventor's huts should help keep these towers online. Couple of vacancies. Interesting. Why would somewhere have vacancies? It's not here. Did I fail to migrate beavers over to... Where's my district center? Yeah, you're meant to be on 10. Yep. Couple more beavers down there. Cool. Now we're plenty of spare beavers here. This stuff is all built up. So let's start migrating some beavers down here. Let's just transfer some of this stuff across. So we were to look down underneath a gear workshop. That's a prime place to be converted over. We are running quite low in gears at the moment. So lumber mill, smelters, wood places. Was there another gear workshop somewhere down here? Or do we just have that one? Zoom down through the system. Just that one, apparently. And the extra gears, not going to be bad. We can also, yeah, cut some more planks. We can do a couple of treated planks. And I guess you can smelt some stuff as you find it. This is almost certainly overkill, but let's automate the fermenter as well. Yep, and you're now requesting 6 spots. Yep, you guys all get to work doing that stuff. And power's currently off, so you're not actually going to get to work. You know what? Make certain we always have plenty of eggplant rations if it's available. Automate that food factory. Take you up to 7 bots in the reservoir district. Yep, that'll all work away. And we can kind of do similar things over here to make certain this stuff is all operating nicely. Yeah, and this will eat a lot of bots happily, because like this dirt excavator, with no inputs or anything, we can just have that working on 4 robots. All the time. What are my builders doing down here? Okay, see, they're hammering away. Resources being delivered one little bit at a time. Get the builder's hut done, please. We actually get more builders working on this. I'll figure it out. Honestly, even like automating builder's hut or something to help get this done faster would not be that bad either. Like, the builder's hut is over here, the industrial section's over here. This is not the best district to sort this stuff out. Yeah, we're not producing enough gears at all. Can I squeeze more gear cutting into here somewhere, maybe? Right, this maybe isn't the place to do it. This is a big consumer of gears, though. It is keeping the robots operating that's chewing through so many. In the actual factory complex might be asking too much from us, though, at this point. They did very much fill out the current extent of it. Sure, let's just get gear workshop like that. That's in... well, not in range, actually. But let's... yeah, we'll automate another gear workshop over here. You're adjacent to the system, at least. Yep, and I'll need to increase the amount of robots you are holding in reserve. Yep, because that's going to increase it by another 1. A minimum of 15 robots. For incapacitated beavers, are our charging stations not holding up over here? No? Oh, of course, it's because the power's out. So yeah, you're just going low power. Unfortunately, I think that's just going to be the case for here. I could hook up the power systems between these 2 districts, but then this is going to be massively overburdened when it needs to support all of this during droughts. So, yeah, so we're just going to be stuck with some hungry robots over here a lot of the time. Yeah, everything working away successfully. I do just need more gears. Yeah, this place is not keeping up with its current gear requirements. I don't even know if you should be cutting planks here somewhere, shouldn't you? No, you're just producing logs. Well, we can fix that up here. Let's see, how do I want to get sawmill and a gear workshop introduced up here on the farming terrace? So, feeding the power... across this side, probably. Then I could like do on top of these two buildings. Would be a tad awkward to bridge up to them. I do think feeding the power along here though, so let's get that sorted. So I want to get, yep, power running, yep, out of this building, across here, up there. Just do like that. Power shaft, power shaft. It's here. Yeah, and then how do we get this system sorted? Because these bridges make everything a tad complicated because you cannot go over the top of them, no matter how much you want to. What we could do is we can access up here via stairs like that. And then once you are up here, like we get power system like here and then another one adjacent to it maybe? We also do out this side too. Okay, let's just pencil in one. Industrial lumber mill. Sure, like that, and then we'll just do fill in some of this grass space, which was just kind of dead space until now. Yep, like so. Builders, please get on that. Yeah, and then we'll just run power straight across into that building. Yeah, I don't mind that, and it does raise up this side of the river a little bit higher too. Yeah, so the town more properly looks like it's built along the riverbanks, rather than just the river bank, singular. Yep. So you should be able to reach that back one once the other structures around it are in. Yep, you can reach that now, cool. Means you can be years. And that'll be some of this wood being processed into secondary materials. And I set the workplace rather than the construction priority on this thing. Yeah, bots out of power. Yeah, these ones still. They do just need to use the charging system. They're getting there though. Yeah, we do have plenty of unemployed bots now wandering around. Yeah, these last couple of things to be sorted out. Unconnected building. What's kind of like... Oh, I blocked off the door to the corn rations. That's why that path was there. Is that salvageable? This bloody suspension bridge making everything difficult for me. You know how to make this salvageable? We alter what this bridge is doing. Build you out, like so, and that lets me get a platform on top of you, which can be like that, and then that can be like that, and then we get a replacement bridge just there. Okay. Salvaged. We start the bridge later into the river. Okay, now we have lots of builders running around handling this stuff for us. Yep, they're just going to keep carting materials into there. Bit by a little bit. Now, lots of spare bots, which means it's probably time to start thinking about this area. So to preserve the appearance of this little topside bit, I'm just going to go for a small tank of grease. Small tank assigned grease. And we're going to grab a control tower and just stick you down there. And then we're going to go some charging stations. Alright, you cannot readily reach across to get to that other side anymore. Cancel that, we'll build them this side instead. But we do actually need to get power through this. This is all suddenly getting a little bit more complicated than I anticipated. Okay, we do it like this. We have stairs down the other side, across here, and then the charging stations like connect power out of the side of the excavator. 1, 2, 3. Like so. Yeah, that's good. Chugging game. Slower and slower and slower and slower. We did really pass some critical mass of how much stuff we have going on at any one time. Yep, you get that stuff sorted. I'll be able to withdraw some beavers from that district then. These will end up going to other places. And I reckon we just get some more inventors. I'll keep our beavers keeping the robots online. Oh, this place needs some more housing. Let's sort that out then. We can build a house. Oh, we're sticking with barracks here. Let's keep up that. So, barracks in there. Yep, hook that up, please. So, a couple of spare beavers. Yeah, you have a lot of spare beavers still, so we can get another couple of inventors down here in Wellspring. Build you up there. And in there. Yeah, lots of turn and sails. Ah yes, so you're still waiting on getting metal blocks to sort that out. So let's get a small industrial pile to store that. Stick you in that corner. Yep, metal blocks. And I'll get those beaver statues online. Swimming pool is high and dry. Yeah, just waiting on water to start flowing through the system again to sort that out. Yeah, this is slowly reforesting itself. You can see all the little oak trees have planted themselves. I'm really quite happy with how the settlement has turned out. All the little towns everywhere over the valley. You look down the river and we have this little settlement and then this higher one looking out at the very end. Get here and we have this beautifully irrigated valley. This is very aesthetically pleasing. Kind of like the mixed cropland through here. Canyon town, trade between places. Up here's a little bit barren. I could maybe do like planting some stuff across here somewhere. This lakeshore. Maybe it gets just like some birch trees planted through it. Yeah, let's think about that. We'll sort it out from this side. This will be fairly easy to access. And if we get a little forester through here, like that. And they can just plant some birch. scattered around. Yep, and I'll start reforesting and at this little grassy patch here. So don't think I'm likely to make much more use of it. Not productively, at least. We can just beautify that a tad. More and more iron bots coming online. Yeah, just short on gears. So wait on more gears before we can distribute more bots around. And honestly, this place could do with like even more gear factories. These things are real gear hungry. Build you there. Let's just get another little gear workshop hooked up next to that one. And we'll get one more robot reserved here at Red Mountain. Yeah, because this place is still having to import gears to try and keep up with everything, despite having 2 gear factories. Yeah, this is producing, like, consuming 3 gears, 4.5 hours. You're consuming 3 every 18 hours. And these only produce 1 every 3 hours. So, especially the bot limbs chew up a lot of gears. This thing's still coming online though. It's like, what are the builders carrying through here? A little bits at a time. Yep, you're just carrying 1 gear at a time through here, it would seem. Right, you got 2 gears in. Yep, they're getting it together. Keep working, keep working. Honestly, even more builders. Just to try and hurry this thing along. Might not be bad. And I have built one of these wonders before for the folk tales, but I seem to remember that progressing a bit faster than this, honestly. I think it is partially just the gear stranglehold. They're trying to deliver gears on priority, but they're making it. They're making it. We get another builder's hut. We can then slap it down somewhere. Yeah, nowhere that needs scaffolding. We'll just stick it next to the other one, keep everything neat. And construction site prioritized. 4 more workers building on this thing. I could maybe get the builders from the mining station contributing too. Want to build a little suspension bridge across the top here? Get that sorted out. Sure, I'll see if I can get some of these builders contributing as well. Along the top. And hopefully once that's done, builders will be able to reach up there and have another district contribute some. They have a charging station online. Yeah, still waiting on gears. Let's just get 4 bots down here for the moment. And we'll swap this over to bots. And all 4 can work on the dirt excavator for the moment. That's a simple one to operate. Yeah, look at that. More workers. Hammering away. Yeah, so they're transporting treated planks now. Yep, and see the builders over here also contributing. Little bit by little bit. We make progress. Now, average well-being stuff. I reckon that's probably the thing to do in the background. Try and keep that going up. 32 is our overall average. What are different districts looking at? You're on average 32. You're still only down at 27. We can get Terminus higher than that. We just... Yeah, let's say, grab you. You work at the hauling post. What are your needs currently looking like? All your food? No social life, exercise plaza, but no other fun. No aesthetic stuff. You do have the Labour Monument for +3. Okay, let's try and think. What aesthetic stuff can we do? This beaver bust. We can install one of those in there. We get a little ruse on the edge of both of those. Pair of houses in here. Now, these can't do anything on the roof, obviously, because it's a bit occupied by a big old beaver statue. Could do... I think I like one of those on the corner. I don't know if we have any raw metal storage in here, though. No, we don't. So I'll also need to get that sorted out in order to build the brazier. Sure, just there next to the gears. Then we have our various fun requirements. We can also start to think about. Like well-being stuff. Like rooftop or campfire. A little campfire looking out over this valley. Not the worst idea I've ever heard. Yeah, you have a couple of spare beavers and you're not a place that's going to be seeing much in the way of injuries. I guess we can also employ another inventor in here, just there. Get the scratches in. Maybe some more decoration stuff, like some lanterns, some shrubs. Let's stick some lanterns around. Get like some on the corners of those. And just scatter them here and there. And these won't be hitting houses, they'll hit a few beavers as they wander around on their day. I actually quite like these little roof things. I don't know what to do with little 2x2 spaces we left, but that's not a bad effect visually. Yeah, not bad at all. Yep, that district will be a tad happier. This place, yeah, it's still only 22. Not happy at all, are you lads? So, well, we have homeless beavers for starters. That's something to handle. I just clicked on that beaver to see what their needs were like, then just popped up homeless on them. Oh, yeah, and that will not stand. And I probably want to stick the houses in close to the rest of the infrastructure we've built up here. Yeah, little row house in there. They'll hold a couple more beavers. Now, let's grab one of the adults. Okay, so you have a house, but you're unemployed. You have food stuff. We are struggling to get all the food needs in. They don't have coffee. Campfire, swimming pool, roof, statue. We could probably get you coffee storage. Just a small tank. of coffee just there. That'll help you out a bit. Yeah, and these guys are foraging successfully now. Gathering the various things. Berries, mangrove fruits. All keeping them happy enough. And despite none of your food needs being particularly high on the beaver I check, they are, like, good for food just because of the amount that passes through here from other districts. Oh, supply power demand. You know what this place can do? Like, you're not producing any planks, but you have an excess amount of planks. Turn some of those into gears for me. Really on a critical gear shortage at the moment. Now, you probably will need an extra beaver just in case the one working on the gears ends up injured, as that is a job that can injure people. And then you'll also need a medical bed because of that. So we'll just go a couple of medical beds down there, front of the settlement. Everything continues moving along. And beavers here aren't exactly the happiest, but... And there's nothing too bad, and I really don't want to expand out that settlement too far. There's so few beavers there that it's not contributing that much to our overall well-being problems. Let's grab one of you. You're a hauler. No white fur, food stuff. Not getting to use campfire or terrace. Exercise plaza. Just don't have like a detailer or something in here. I don't know if you're actually making extract though. Mud bath, wind tunnels, motivatoriums. Have a lot of aesthetics met, which is nice. Yeah, like there is stuff we can do to make beavers happier. Honestly, a lot of it is just kind of get more power to places in order, because a lot of our well-being buildings, like the wind tunnel, yeah, the wind tunnel with motivatorium, they're like two of the big ones which aren't that well distributed. That is just because they chew up a lot of power. And especially the current gear shortage, I don't have much in the way of resources to redistribute to setting up power systems. I guess vertical power shafts aren't that gear heavy. That's a matter of setting up more water wheels and figuring out all that stuff and how that'll work to get more power into places. I think I fairly have it. Oh, this building looks cool. With the, yeah, the robots in it, like the big lights all turn blue. Neat. Yeah, I think I'm fairly happy with current well-being stuff. It's not great, but it's okay. It's okay. Beavers here could probably stand for a swimming pool. We have all this space out here. Need to kind of do something with a little bit of terrain here to make it suitable, though. Unless I want to stick it way out, which is a little bit far from where the beavers are actually going to be. Well, let's get some explosives down. Right, explode some of that out for me, please. I'll get a swimming pool set up down here in Walton. They're not very happy, and this will help make them a tad happier. Our population is really exploding, with 30 unemployed bots stomping around. Yeah, having this system fully automated is a little bit overkill for what we actually need it for, but... we'll make it. Okay. You got this explosive placed, you just need to actually build them now, lads. Yeah. Big chunk there. Yeah, and then you detonate that. Wellbeing, swimming pool. Yeah, build you there. Stairs up. Oh, look at that delay, yeah. I clicked, moved the mouse away to preparation building that stair, and then it placed it. Yeah, that'll make those lads a tad happier. Right. Other places we can think about moving some bots around. Like, even just to make more gears. Even if I don't have the control tower, just bots in other places will be helpful. Because at the moment I have a lot not doing anything. Right, we have all this system, for example, down here. And we should have more workplaces through here we could automate out. I don't think we're making any gears down here. Could probably change that, eh? Power is moving through the system across there. Want to get power to the far side of the mine. Just feed it around the back of this. Yeah, something like that. Builder should be able to reach all of that in a second. And we'll just get a couple of gear workshops. I might even get 2 installed in here. Oh no, if I put one there, I'll block it off. We'll just do 1 for the moment. Yep, so we can make use of that. I do want to keep the stair accessible. I have no intention of ever actually making use of that plateau. I like just the scattering of dead trees over the top of it. But I also dislike blocking off the slopes. We'll leave you like so. Yeah, bot out of power. Rush your go, lad, into the system. Now, this does want to be an automated one. Means we'll need another bot migrated down here. Yep, 11. Everything keeps progressing. Look how many beavers we've got hammering away at this thing. Hammer, hammer, hammer. You know what? I think we're going to employ even more builders. Oh, we got homeless beavers. We need to sort that out too. So, builders' huts. Let's go real over the top, get 2 more. And we're going to need some more housing. More housing for the beavers. I mean, we have, yep, that little path. We delete that. We'll just get 2 row houses in there. Yeah, construction site, construction site. Make one of those a priority too. Honestly, make both of those a priority, and then we'll get this stuff done. That'll be another 8 builders working away at this. Probably going to need to increase the amount of beavers being reserved by topside then. Yeah, Exercise Plaza being busy. Not as many visiting the Motivatorium. Like, big crowd here, none there. You know, you're out of range of the control tower, but honestly, like, some more automation here in the builders, so I would have robots helping to build this, could also be decent. Okay, yeah, you're built, you're built. Let's make certain you're requesting enough. Yeah. we want to go all the way up to a minimum of 65 beavers topside. Yeah, and that's comfortably catapulted you into the district that needs to be the largest at least. Reservoir still got you beaten actual population-wise. Yeah, beavers working away. Look, different patterns on their tails. Big collaborative effort, this. If I wanted to get, like a steam engine, and just think about maybe powering some robots in some of these locations. Like that, we'll need power to charge the robots though, that's the thing. A large power wheel? Actually not the worst idea. Like this is just beaver labor. Like 4 beavers working here can keep a whole lot of bots powered. Yeah, that ain't bad. Like, you have grease storage. Yes, you do. Control tower, I really wanted to get one. Could cover a lot of this stuff as well. Something to keep in mind. Let's get... yeah, power wheel. Like so. Like that. And now this will be a little bit of a stretch to actually get the gears in here. We are getting a tiny bit of a surplus. Up, you can see that climb up to 150 plus now. Yeah, drown approach and charging stations. How do I want to assemble a bunch of these? Yeah, something like that. Or high priority you and those two, at least. Yeah, and you see the structure coming along. They're building it up. No longer just the kind of base foundation. Yeah, we've progressed past the quarter mark. Yep. Power, power, power. Yeah, then we can get 8 beavers working away on actual construction over here. Let's grab... oh, only 250 science. That's cheap. Yep. Pause it for a second when we get this sorted out. Let's get some bots helping out to build this thing. Migrate population, 8 bots, please. Yep. And they can charge up during the daytime when the power wheel's on. During the nighttime, they'll go offline, but that's fine. Get one more online, please. Yep, you can see they're still hammering away even during the night now. Working, working, working. Bunch of bots out of power. I'll figure it out though. I have to imagine it's just that we have, too many idle bots here now. It's very sad seeing them all broken down and not accomplishing anything. So let's spend even more gears we don't have, getting a whole row of charging stations across there. Honestly, that might be excessive. Let's delete that last one. Just 4. Yep. Beavers hammering away. It's getting there. A lot of the resources. We're halfway through the gears. Yeah, it is just actual beavers hour, like beavers to convert the resources into construction time now. Just looking at the ratio of materials delivered to total materials needed. Yeah, see, the robot's now continuing to labor away. Ironbot 80 was just created. Yeah, look at all these low energy robots plotting around. They're so sad. So sad. And the town kind of keeps growing out. Is there anything else I really wanted to do? Like, aesthetics-wise, I'm trying to think. Yeah, getting something done with this little bit of open green around here would not be bad. Now that this stuff is done, we can delete that forester and clear the planting area of these. They'll start spreading naturally. Yeah, so that's a little bit of forestation done. I think we'll just try and do something similar across here. Get some birch trees planted along this edge. Maybe on this little island too. But for that, we're going to need to get some suspension bridges across here. Oh no, you're... Yep, we need to... That's annoying. Going from higher to lower is difficult. If it's the other way around, it's simpler. We're just going to have to do something like this, at which case, let's just platform across. Yeah, and then we want to get a path up here, so a forester would be able to reach up to here. Yeah, foresters don't need paths. Build that, get forester built up there. I think, yeah, we actually are going to want to get stairs up here to maybe try reforesting that section too. Just let the builders work on this. We'll see if they can reach up to here without paths. They're going to need paths. Cool. Yep. You work well on that. Anywhere else I wanted to get more trees in. This section is not bad. We do have this little pool here. I could maybe get an explosion through here to green this up, but I don't mind the very corner of the map being a dead forest, like on the dead terrain. Yeah, so you can see we're cutting a whole lot of oak now to get this operational. Yeah, supply is no longer quite meeting demand here. We do have this spare space. I was thinking cropland up here. That'll be something to help keep some of these bots busy too, maybe. Be outside the control tower, but that's fine. I don't need, like, the food to be that efficient. We have plenty of access. So I wanted to build a farmhouse. Just here. And another one just there. What would I want to grow in these farmhouses? I don't think I like these both facing the same way. Let's delete that one. Yeah, and then we'll do you facing sideways. I mean, just some kohlrabi is the very basic thing, which we can do without too much difficulty. Just across here. A little kohlrabi station. Yep. Kohlrabi crop. We do a canola field. Got a canola field in this corner. Yep, like that. And these are probably going to be automated farms, just to keep the beavers, like the robots, doing something. Now, other crops we can grow. Soybeans, corn. Let's get a big old patch of soybeans. No idea if I'll ever even process them. Yeah, tons of soybeans. Yep. Get those planted. We'll get some cassava through here. And more cassava across here. There we go. Bunch of crops planted. And that just helps make this little plateau look a bit more developed. We have these very obviously artificial irrigation canals, and now it is quite recognizably actively cultivated farmland. Cool. Now, down here, yes, you got that built. So a forester. I want the forester to reach up to there. Oh, this is just going to be a tad awkward, I think. Okay, if we do something like this, you'll be able to reach the full extent of where I want. So we're going to need to push the path out like that. Delete that. And this way, a forest built here can plant trees up here as well as on that plateau. You won't be able to get to the far side of it, but we can at least get a couple planted there, and I can delete some of this path. Move it. Yeah, if we get a birch planted here. Just some scattered around here, wherever. Yeah, planted like that. And keep planting. Yeah, and then once that's planted, we get the path to loop around, and we plant another one there. And honestly, just plant two there, and then we can delete some of this path so people can get around. Hey, Brental Floss. How are you doing? We are just kind of in the probably finishing stages of this map. Kind of waiting on the wonder being built. Wherever that was. Got turned around. Oh no, seriously turned around. Yes, over here. The Earth Repopulator is going up, and I'm just doing some beautification around the map. In the meantime. And little birch trees planted down on open green areas. I'll slowly reforest them. Let's have a look at the wonder. How's this thing progressing? Yep, robot's still hammering away over the course of the night. Yeah, making good progress now. And that will just get done in its own time. Yeah, forester runs around, plants these birch trees in. Start clearing the planting area of some of these. These will grow up into big, strong trees and then start adding new saplings around themselves. Oh yeah, you can't reach down there, can you? In which case, just get more birches in there. Yep, clear that stuff. Let's get one planted on this bit of ground too. Before you head off. Yep. Clear that. Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Vaguely freezing to death here. It's absolutely bitter outside, but I am surviving it. That's the main thing. Timberborn makes everything better anyway. I really look forward to getting to stream this. I'll leave that bit of scaffolding across the river. Nice little bit of development. Get rid of that path so these trees will be able to spread down this way once that's done. Cool. 5 robot vacancies somewhere. And I'm hoping it's not up there. You have far too many robots as it is. Six robot vacancies. Where are we attempting to get robots, not actually employing them? Huh. I am uncertain. Wait, where is attempting to get robots but failing? Robots. Dirt excavator's good. Oh, okay. Yep. No, you're Steph over on YouTube. No, kinda. I recognize you now. Had not connected the Twitch name and YouTube name. Oh, I'm glad you've been enjoying the VODs, so I have a lot of fun making up, like, kind of recording this game, setting them up, so it's nice to see people engaging with it. Mentored cassava in here, okay. Ah, yes, of course, it's because it's the drought, so the power goes off. I'm just going to need to have to get used to that showing up. Yep, poor little starving robots. I mean, it's not like any of the buildings they operate are currently online either with the power off during the drought, so that's fine. That is quite fine. Yep, more and more builders labouring away. Here I am thinking we will do the control tower thing in this corner just to really optimize how these builders are doing. Yep, build that thing up. Yeah, gears are still struggling a bit, but we're getting them in here the amount we need. Like, we're not sitting on absolutely zero. They're being moved around a bit. Only need 500 more here. I mean, we still need more tree to planks and metal blocks, and they're not exactly something we're as short on, so. Yep, just the bots, leaving that stuff unstaffed. Let's see, I could get even more builders assigned on this? Sure. Even more builders. So, yeah, already got a path up here. Might as well make use of it. Builders' huts don't need to be that close to the thing they're actually working on. You won't be able to reach both sides there. That's fine. We can just have... Wait. Yeah, builder's hut there. Another builder's hut there. Yep, these are both a bit prioritized. Make one of you automated, one of you not automated. We'll need 4 more robots to deal with that. Yep. That means it's probably about time to get one of these charging stations online too. Yeah, look at that, past 50% mark. Now the construction continues to rise, to climb, to grow grander. Ain't that impressive? Yep. And these lads were just gonna continue to work away this. This district, yeah, now is like spare unemployed beavers. After everything we've gotten done over here, so you can kind of get that upgraded, and the mining station will be able to... You know what? We'll stick that a bit further away, so it's a bit more obviously associated with this structure rather than the mining station. Yeah, stick you there. And then prioritize the construction site. And I'll get some of these unemployed beavers also contributing to this. There we go. Yep, 4 more beavers ready to assist. Yeah, even during the night, the robots hammer away. Let's see, what else do I want to do beautification-wise? We do have this little area of dead land back here. And this is a lot of grey terrain, though. If I really wanted to flood this, it would have to do some pretty major engineering, and I'd want to do in this section too. So that's probably a bit beyond the scope of what I'm looking at. Around the edge of this lake, maybe. This place could stand to have some more trees. Like, this is all connected up to 3 peaks here. So we could get... yeah, just like a little forester built in here. You know, delete the path back here, so it's 3 peaks handling this, since it is kind of their little area. And you can get a forester just in there. And I might do a bit of a mixed forest here rather than just birch. Scatter some birch around. Yeah, and you can reach down to about here. Yeah, birch, birch, birch. But then we will also get some oak and some pine also scattered through this. A whole lot of different types of trees mixed around, make everything a bit interesting. Cool. Yeah, that'll be nice. We have some, like, irrigated edge along here too, which could maybe stand for a little bit of forestation as well. I don't really want to make this underground ruin, actually. And do stuff. And it's a lot of resources to pour into this at a time when we're building other stuff and won't actually make use of it, but it would look quite cool having the efficient mine running here out of Canyon Town. Yep. You're ready to start planting. You'll get on that shortly. Yeah. This little area is another point. We do have some farming here. I got just more crops planted across here. That could help make this look a little bit more developed rather than trees. Let's get the farmers to help spread this cassava a bit. Yeah, extend the farmland down the cliff a tad. Yeah, like that. Over here too. And just more kohlrabi. Or more eggplants. Mix it up a bit. Eggplant, 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 eggplant. Through there. Yeah, that helps. So a little bit of like darkness with the crops will be coming in down here. Like, I don't mind there just being some open grassland like this. Not everything needs to be forest. Well, you can see this forest is now starting to spread. Like, we have new birch trees coming in, and these birch trees are themselves, some of them almost growing up. Yeah, this little bit of irrigated cropland is nice. Yeah, that plateau is looking good. Yeah, some of the wild oak trees here are now starting to spread as well. This area is a tad plain. This design. But I don't think I mind it. There's enough busyness going on around this section that nothing here is okay. Yeah, and this can just be irrigated flat plains. I don't think I need to develop this any further. Yeah. Oh, and this district just looks very nice, this little plateau. I like the mixture we have of the dead forest, the cut down forest, like the different crops, this open flatland, the water, forest, like the oak forest here that's actively being worked. Yeah, the floodplains have a really nice aesthetic going on for them at the moment. Still real low well-being. Let me just grab on these farmers. Like, what do you reckon you would want? We do have enough open space. I could squeeze an exercise plaza in somewhere. There's more decoration. Honestly, just like the simple monument, Flame of Unity or Labourer's Monument through here would not be bad. I think of Flame of Unity down here in the floodplains. Place you pretty centrally. Beavers can even reach you to work on you. I'll be planks and metal parts. Do we have metal part storage? We do have metal part storage, only a tiny one, so we'll take a bit of ferrying to get enough to build that, but they'll get that sorted out. And that should spike up the average well-being here a bit. This isn't a small district either, so that should have a bit of a splash-on effect to the overall world average too. So many workers gonna streaming in here now. Keep delivering stuff, keep building this up. Bit by tiny bit. Any other stuff over here I kind of felt like automating maybe? Do only have the 3 charging stations at the moment. This is a district where it's easy to add more. So we have lots of little spare bits of space scattered around. We can extend the power system out, kind of do stuff to it. It's a bit of a shame I can't kind of like mix normal haulers and robot haulers, because I wouldn't mind having a couple of robot haulers, and I wouldn't mind having probably a couple more haulers overall. But I'll just get normal beavers on that since we have unemployed around here. What do we want to do? You know what? I can just increase the amount working in the mines. Let's get a couple more robots down here working on that. Yeah, up to 13 bots in 3 peaks, please. Yeah. Sandbox. Yeah, no, I'm not the biggest fan of like really curated content stuff either. I mean, I'm just here kind of streaming because I like playing video games, and kind of the stream actually gives me the motivation and focus to actually do it. So rather than get distracted, let my like attention deficit, whatever, knock me off and make me never actually accomplish any of this. We need a 2 thing here. Yeah, and this is a very kind of fun game. I like city builders. I like stuff where the actual city building has like a bit of motivation, a bit of pressure, and some of the border simulation stuff here really kind of provides that quite well. It gives you a little bit of like something to build towards, and that helps focus in the designs, make everything, yeah, a bit more, well, focused. Said focused quite a few times in that sentence, but yes, tooth grindstone, because I saw a beaver running around with chipped teeth, and I don't know if there's one here yet. Squeeze you in next to there. I tend to find city builders without that kind of focusing element, like the hydro engineering here, or resource scarcity, or like some sort of threat to build towards or around. I tend to kind of lose focus on them a bit and not find them as engaging. I mean, stuff like, I know, city skylines, stuff like that, I find much less interesting just because there's not kind of that level of engagement. It's very much just a sit back and watch stuff happen, which in the way it would happen regardless of your decisions, if that makes sense. I don't think I'm expressing myself too well. And the level of engagement you get from these sorts of games, Timberborn, is really, really satisfying to me. Yep. Beavers working away, tiny bit by tiny bit. We do actually have more employed bots than unemployed bots now. That's nice to see. We also have far too many homeless beavers running around. Yeah, we're up to another large row house here needed. Where can I squeeze some of you in? Sure, we'll get a couple of you built up like that. Make that a little bit of priority. I don't like seeing my beavers out in the cold. Yeah, and you definitely need more housing. Even a large barracks or something, maybe. Want to squeeze large barracks in, though. Across here. Not like that. And then we'll do platforms, hook you in like so. Yeah, build that stuff up. Maybe get a little decoration to cover some of these houses too in here. Like if I built that. Maybe a clock. Clock's already covering a lot of this though. So just get a little fire on the corner, about there. Lantern next to there. Already got a decent number of lanterns scattered around this town. One next to that house too. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of feel that, Brental Floss. Now, you have, yeah, planted out your forest. We can delete you happily. I'll get rid of some of the winding paths across here too. Makes so the forest can freely expand. Yep. Everything progressing well. Well, fermented cassava stocks are actually starting to decrease somewhat. Well, I mean, I'm growing quite a lot of cassava up here at the moment. I guess let's try and actually make use of some of the crops are growing here now. So, power systems running through here. So I think if I wanted to get more power through here, like a large water wheel right across here to capture some of this power would not be the worst idea in the world. Like pretty low, 173 horsepower only. We shall endure. And I'll need to get builders down here separately from the power system we're running, so we'll just get path on here. And the power can run, yep, like that, up to here. I wouldn't mind hooking this into the main system somehow. Would be a bit awkward to do though. I might just keep this separate and kind of just run some food stuff off this down here, I reckon. Yeah, put that up. There. Honestly, having that be really tall is probably unnecessary. Down like that. Up. Yeah, get some power in there. Leave the builders to figure that out on their own some eventually. You could be on a full set of slightly more. Since we're actually building now. And I mean, it's not like we're short on beavers here. Incorrect. It is like we're short on beavers here. Yeah, a few more builders. Get some of this power stuff sorted out. And I can think about maybe getting some food processing stuff. Yeah, fermented cassava, fermented soybeans is the two we're not completely full in storage on, and they would be good crops to manufacture here, given what we're growing down on this side. Press some canola oil. We can get some fermented soybean made from that canola oil, and the fermented cassava is simple as. Just needs the power. Oh, look at that. Yep, we passed 75%. Working on the mechanism on top of the base structure now. Big old lever arms. Coiled back under tension. Gears. And yeah. This is looking good. Soon. Yeah, most of the supplies are here too. Only 100 more gears, 200 more treated planks, 200 more metal blocks. Metal blocks and treated planks are actually starting to run a little bit shy on. Certain we'll make it though. Certain. Yeah, all the beavers working away. No, I am very happy how this colony's turned out. I think the one thing kind of which I contemplated and turned aside was the irrigating this top section. It's nice just to keep like the corners of the map barren a little bit. Like you have the patches of the wasteland poking in. Like really selling this as a little island in the desert. Poor corn. Yeah. Need to get more water down here. Because this riverbed has finally run out of water. Dried out. And there's enough of a delay in actually getting more stuff down here. A little bit flowing through. We are seeing... Yeah, I think I might want to raise up the height of this slightly. So like 0.65 should be on level with the dams now. So if it's flowing out of here, I also want it flowing back along here. Yeah. Having that lower was a bit of a mistake. Yeah, power systems. Coming along. Now, food stuff. We want a couple of fermenters and an oil press. Yeah, an oil press. Just slap down around here somewhere. Get you... How would I want to build these out? Like that, and then... Sure, like that. Now we do need to cut down some of these trees in order to make room for this. A lumberjack flag. Cut down those trees, please. We can get that little pier sectioned off. Not too concerned about cutting that away. Yep, and these will just feed power through each other. So... Yeah, and then... And we do have some canola oil storage. I wouldn't mind a little bit, like, right on top of the oil press, however. So, storage, small tank. Stick you there. You are canola oil. And I'll just need some storage stuff for our new food. Yep, that's all being hammered together. Now, storage for food and crops and all that. And just get a couple along here. These can be storage for raw ingredients, your soybean storage. You are canola seed storage, and I'll need cassava storage too. Just be in there. Cassava, yes, cassava storage. And then the finished versions will need their own storehouses. Mini warehouse, just a couple along the back here. Yep, and these can be storage for fermented cassava and fermented soybeans. So many sad robots. Yeah, you've done the work. Get that processed. Getting some more charging stations. That's probably a decent idea. And hook up some more power kind of off here, maybe. Want to do compact water wheels? A little bit awkward with the steep drop there. Yeah, unfortunately, Brental Floss gonna... I am aware, but Twitch is a little bit annoying with setting like the actual like broadcast and letting me pick that, because theoretically I am streaming in 720 rather than 1080, but Twitch is insisting on trying to upscale that and then not letting people like drop down to the other side just because they like, because I'm not an affiliate, they cap off those services for people who actually are. So I'm kind of stuck here being forced to stream at a higher resolution than I'm actually putting out. Yeah, I do appreciate that, Brental Floss. Yep, I am not streaming in I'm not streaming in 1080, despite the fact that that's what the option to actually view stream is. That's part of the problem. Should I charge some bots for doing this stuff? Maybe. I mean, with so many spare bots, sure. Let's see if we can get some bots operating this stuff for me. Yeah, unlock the oil press for bots. And then I need to get some charging stations for bots as well. I can squeeze one in here. And then it is just a matter of getting some more power into the system somehow. You can see the gravity battery is completely drained. So, it's power flowing through here, power flowing through here. If I were to focus on getting the... yeah, just levees built back along here. This will be a matter of deleting, like, some of these areas. Levy across. Strain the flow through down here. Now, build this stuff up. Yeah, and I'll focus the flow through here so I can get another large water wheel mounted on this. Pull some more power out of this system. Want to go one further back on either side. Let's raise it up. And then we can just feed power over the top, hook it up onto that power shaft probably. Cool. Hungry, hungry bots, pottering around. Almost at 90%. Getting there, we're getting there. And you see this forest really spreading out. This was just a handful of scattered trees. You can kind of see the little clusters growing around where the original trees were when we planted them in. Pretty as anything. So oak forest is coming along nicely too. Yeah, the dead trees mixed with the live trees I really don't dislike the look. It does add that little bit more variation into the system, which wouldn't be there otherwise. Yeah, game chugging. There we go. The map has ended up quite beautiful. Where's this unconnected building? Ah, yeah, we're still waiting on... Make that one a bit of a priority, please. Get, like, this district crossing back online. I had to cut that off in order to alter this waterway it's had. No, I was not aware of that brand of loss. I might have to look into that sort of stuff. So, well, I'm not the most Twitch savvy person. A lot of what I do this for is just to, like, force me to actually give a bit of focus to, like, actually play video games. Honestly, the reason I probably stream on Twitch rather than just making YouTube videos is if I just made YouTube videos rather than live streams, I would feel morally obligated to attempt to edit them and do stuff like that. And the moment I allow myself to do that, the perfectionist will never let me actually get anything done. No, I might have to look into what you say there. Yeah. All those bloody little pine trees cutting me off. Yeah, we're going to need to clear some of those out in order to actually get a power wheel back here. I get stairs in there and a lumberjack flag. Lumberjack, set to robot. Honestly, it's entirely because I dislike the whole, YouTube streaming as in every single YouTube streamer I've ever interacted with, I do not like YouTube's UI for it. That is more or less the entire limit, so. It's a very minor one, but I prefer the way Twitch looks and how to actually approach Twitch. YouTube streams always seem vaguely weirdly jank whenever I try and interact with them. Yeah, that done. Yep, Ironbot, you'll be ready to go. Yeah. Chop down those pine trees. Thank you very much, Mr. Robot. Yeah, and look at that, 650 horsepower coming off that one. Delete you. Yep, and then we'll just feed the power across the top, rejoin the system. There we go. Once they actually get the water wheel done, of course. Shouldn't be too hard to accomplish, though. And would you look at that? The Earth Repopulator is built. Now they just need to supply it with some treated planks and some berries. We've just about exhausted our current treated plank storage, eh? Yeah, we're not quite going to have enough to actually get this ready to launch, but that will be ready soon. And if I have an option between interacting with, like, streaming stuff on YouTube or streaming stuff on Twitch, I pretty much always go for Twitch just because YouTube's weird and kind of jank. Not to say Twitch isn't weird and jank, but YouTube ends up being exceptionally so. You know what? Just to help salvage some treated plank income, let's just cut down on our mines since they're chewing through some. I would like a lot to just go towards getting this Earth Repopulator ready to fire. Yeah, and these things are progressing well. We've got, yeah, lots of fermented soybean, fermented cassava starting to come out. Blue windows really are a quite striking look on some of these buildings. Quite so. Oh, we do have lots of homeless beavers, once again. Gonna guess only one down here. Huh. Well, the majority then. Oh, 0. 5 over here. Let's get a house for these lads. Yeah, one of the taller row houses, maybe? Yeah, starting to run out of space if I want to keep it on this little focus plateau. I can put another one next to that already existing row house, like in there. Yep. You're good, you're good. Let's see. Homeless beavers? No. I guess we'll get the one homeless beaver over here sorted out. You can just be tucked into there. Row house just to there. Yeah, I guess a few beavers are just going to be sleeping rough tonight. Come on, where are you hiding? I've already checked that district. Is it? Yeah, it's over here. Farming terrace. Okay, yeah, we've well and truly asked what the farming terrace can support house-wise. Let's get a little bit more accommodation through here. We could build... Let's get, like, some of this second row prepared up here. Yeah, get you through there. Housing, get barracks built up there. And just row house in there. Yep, and that'll get these homeless beavers somewhere to live. How's this coming along? Yep, just needing more treated planks in. We have a whole lot of builders not doing anything now, but we've got a whole lot of beavers not doing anything now. Look at those unemployment rates. Ooh. Yeah, we've kind of hit another little tipping point with getting the bots online that have really, really sent our population up. Up skyward. Oh, look at his little hat. Oh my stars. Bog, you are incredibly cute. I just need you to know that. Incredibly so. Yep, now we just need to get more treated planks in. Now, this bit, I do not mind that rent of loss. Theoretically, sending URLs is something I should be able to allow. Yeah, if you just try putting that in chat, I think I should be able to see it. You know what? Something that has not ever come up again before, so... Let's see. Nah, it is not allowing it even on my end. I cannot even see that on my end, which is unfortunate. Thanks for trying, though. I'm certain, like, a bit of Google search and I should be able to hunt around and find it. Yeah, you're now getting more energy. Look at that. The gravity battery is actually saving energy again. Yeah, a bunch more power through the system. That's tipped us back to the point where we're positive again. And we just need more spots for beavers to actually recharge. Keep trying to take this down. Get you in. What else would I kind of want to stick some of this power system? You know what? A couple more charging stations just along there. Yeah, homeless beavers all successfully rehoused now. A lot of stuff being processed. Food supplies looking decent. We're still a bit short on fermented cassava for whatever reason. It's just kind of not quite producing enough, I guess. I mean, honestly, even just actual cassava, we're running a bit low, and I think I need to get some more cassava farms online. I mean, with that in mind, that could be something I do with that little bit of open land in here. Or even just background here. And we'll get another farmhouse through here, grow some more cassava. Like, you can see our total storage for cassava is really dropping now. Need to get some more of it ready to be grown and harvested. More cassava through there. And this place is also going to be processing a lot of cassava. We're not growing the most. Put a little bit of spare farmland down here. Grow some cassava along there, perhaps. I were to get staircase down there, then yeah, we can grow a tiny little patch of cassava across there too. Right, where the bounds we're looking at here. Yeah, we'll just kind of get those stairs built. Okay, 2 more up there, then yeah, 1 more layer around the outside. A little bit more cassava. Starting to run low on algae as well. Reckon another algae hydroponics over here. Also not go amiss if I can just squeeze that in somewhere. Where's a handy little 3x3 space to grow some stuff? Just in there. Yep. Recipe algae, please. Honestly, I could probably use a couple of those. Another hydroponic garden. Stick one down on this plateau. I don't mind this plateau being... Ooh, in there, yeah. That's a good spot. Keep it in this corner, close to where the rest of them are. Another algae hydroponic. Look at that little row of towers through here. I didn't really mean to line these up, but these line up pretty well. Yeah, that's neat. Been ticking away. They really do develop the skyline. Like, you can see the one in the background there, the one in there. And that statue looks very nice as part of the skyline, just looking down towards Terminus. Staring down the river into the wild lands beyond. Now, how's this thing going? Halfway. There we are, just low on treated planks. And a whole lot being manufactured. And I kind of don't want to switch off the mines completely. I like them to kind of keep pulling treated planks in here if they can. Like, you can see this place is running quite low on the planks when it comes to actually getting them in. You only have 1, so... Ah yes, you are thinking like this little 3 branch here. To get the flow through. I did kind of end up deciding to just kind of branch out a bit like a single throttling valve, because this was just aesthetic, and then just route everything back through the one floodgate through here. I don't mind how it ended up kind of working out. Yeah. Like, doing it this way did end up opening up this farmland too, which we have ended up making use of, so it's not the end of the world that the plan changed slightly. Ended up being effective. There's quite a few ways you could approach routing water through this system. It was like, even the water like emerging from here isn't guaranteed. There's like other tunnels here, and you could divide this up and do like interesting little drain sections with the bottom maybe. It's only a big waterway. Yep, everything here ticking along. Oh, we're actually starting to go through some of the pine resin we have in storage. Who'd have thunk it? Yeah, this place could use another place to get more pine resin. I know, I did spend kind of a little while debating how I wanted to approach that canyon, so I'm pretty happy with how things ended up, though. Yeah, we can get another resin tapper in here, I think. Just kind of want to get some stairs leading up to it. Yeah, like so. I'm going to have a little resin tapper sitting out. Just to there. There's plenty of resin in these trees still untapped. Get a little bit more throughput. How are we doing on the supply rise? Oh yeah, the one grease factory is not really keeping up. The bots have done their work though. I just kind of wanted to actually get bots in before I finished up, because like, I'm still not convinced if they're completely worth it. Like, it's obviously a big boom in population once you get one of these little complexes online. Yeah, we are sitting at like over 100 extra beavers practically. More than that because they're extra efficient beavers. But it's a lot of infrastructure to support them that you need to get done in the first place. It's all just a bit complicated for the return, really. Yeah, they're just turning the power wheel to accomplish not much these days. Keeps them occupied, though. Nothing to do in range. You are right. You need to actually be able to reach the things. We just build her up like that. That should help a bit. Yeah, builders can get to there. We'll get that figured out. Unstaffed? Yeah, no, we're down a worker apparently. Let's get two more people in Terminus. Do we have a spare? Now you'll need a little bit more housing. See, and I don't want to build tall buildings out on this side. We can just close off that section there. Another house. And yeah, we're still just waiting on this. Really don't want to finish up the stream before we get to the treated planks, so it's just a little bit of a waiting game. See how long this takes to get them all in. And then we're probably done for Timberborn for the while. I do already have the next stream game lined up. Fairly new little game, and it just came out a little while ago. Eager to show that off too. Yeah, we can use some of the first lake, yeah, and like divert some water across this way in order to get some more flow through here. I did kind of half contemplate that as a way to get a little bit more pressure down here, but realistically, the only town that's really making use of the water flow down here is Canyon Town, and it isn't using any power anyway. So the thought did cross my mind, but like, this place is good for water flow with the bad water. This place makes use of this river, or like this right on the end if it needed it. And so we did kind of just end up squeaking enough through. There's very little flow down here, but it's also a system that is drawing very little water out of it. So the low flow, low throughput is, like, we can live with that. Yep. Come on, treated planks. Just need another 100. Down there, a little bit by a little bit. Yep, you're getting some more pine resin in. Maybe get another treated plank manufacturer. Yeah, there's the delay after the drought. But that can be a tad annoying, but because we're hardly pulling any water out of here anyway, it is fairly acceptable, especially down here. Like, the bigger delay where it might be nicer to get water is right down in this little part of the system. Like, you could engineer probably a little aqueduct across here to divert some water, like, straight from that lake through underground into here if you wanted it. Yeah, no, there are... I do enjoy, like, talking about the different ways to move the water around the map. That's one of the big... Well, one of the big joys here. It's the main little gameplay hook, and it's really what drives a lot of the engagement from the player. Now, power's all cut off here, of course, during the current drought. But I did want to try and get a little bit more in the way of treated planks in. I maybe hook up some treated plank manufacturing over here? And these places are just using normal planks, right? Yeah, they are. And we seem to be holding fairly steady on the current amount here. Even with the extra gear workshops chewing through it too. And I think it's fine. Realistically, it's probably just a thing that could be better handled through some more, like, haulers at the district crossings in order to move treated planks, you know, in over to the new location. Like, you produce one every 3 hours. You consume one every 9 hours. A full third of your output is currently being eaten by this thing. I wanted to get another wood workshop down here. How would I go about it? Oh, this is a bit bigger building, so running power to it is a little bit more complicated. I could do something to get power into it over here, perhaps? Let's see about that. Yeah. Get entrance here. I wanted to run power up directly from these wheels into this system. It would be very awkward is the answer. Very, very awkward. Probably worth it though, so we just go like that. I do want to kind of keep this path open, so I'll order a couple of stairs to be built. Rotate you around, path on top of there. And we can just do some raised platforms. Actually, honestly, we don't need that one. I mistook that for the back of the wood workshop, but that's the hauling post. Yep, then you go up to there. Okay, so you can be one tall, just like so. Yeah, most of this can be built. Reaching up is going to need some scaffolding, though, I do think. Vertical power shaft, vertical power shaft. Yep, build you up there. We'll want a vertical power shaft Onto you. They seem to think they might be able to reach that. We'll see as they build this stuff out. Yeah, and you're in range of that system, so you can also be automated. You can be Ironbot 16, working on this wood workshop. Okay, they managed to build up to there. Okay, yeah, too far, cannot be reached. We need to do scaffolding. We go down there. And then go up like that. I think that might still be too low. We go... yeah, so we can't access around the back there. You know what? Maybe. Maybe. The way we approach this... yeah. Is like that. Yeah, that's fancy. And that will also definitely work. You know, kind of right up here, and then we immediately have some water drop down into this system. That was something I contemplated doing. I'm pretty sure I ended up kind of going against it just because we have the water wheels through the system here, and this is where a lot of our industry's focused, so the flow can move through. But I did quite earnestly contemplate, like, maybe even setting up a larger reservoir, like, balance off the edge of this cliff, and then at the end of the drought, or during the drought, once this drops too low, you just dump some of that water straight in order to help fill this up. Like, you'll do something with some overhangs out the edge of the cliff here, like get a large body of water hanging suspended in the air here, and then you can drop that directly into here if the water level gets too low, and that way you could also keep water flow through these water wheels at full speed. Soon. 34 more planks, 33 more planks. They're making it, they're making progress. I reckon you want some more haulers at these locations? Sure. Beavers need something to keep them occupied. And you're unlikely to be getting planks through there. This place. This district could stand to have some more beavers running between them. Make use of some of those plenty of unemployed folks we have. Honestly, let's increase that all the way up to 6. I want lots of beavers running between these two locations. Yeah, planks, scrap metal, dirt. That's curious if I scroll down kind of through here. Yeah, you can definitely have another beaver hauling stuff across here. In fact, let's go up to 3 on each side of this district crossing. Man, the exercise plaza was completely full there. Honestly, it's so full you might even actually get practical use on building a second exercise plaza in this district. I don't think I will, but like, it's wild we could actually make use of that. The population here has gotten so high. You know, like, if we include kids and bots for over 100, even if we exclude the bots who aren't using services like that, we're still almost there, only a couple of kids off. Kits, I guess. Kit, I think, is the proper term for a young beaver. And it looks like we're just going to be finished up on cycle 45. We'll get to the end of the drought before we're ready to go. Look at these poor little buggers. Look so dejected and sad. We're out of power, pottering around. Eating a silly quantity of grease. Honestly, we could probably do something with, like, the population counter. Because we have too many robots. We don't need this many robots. There is an excessive quantity of robot here. Okay, so... bots. Current measurement. If bots in this district is greater than, let's say, 40, 50. If bots in this district, 45. Split the middle. You are on. Actually, less than or equal to 45. And let's get these art factories vaguely reasonable. Okay, population counter. Yeah. We have far, far too many bots. Let's rein that in. I cannot stand looking at their sad little faces. Yeah, and I'll pause the bot part factories. The actual bot assemblers can keep running until they run out of war ingredients, but... yeah. Now it's just a matter of waiting for some of these things to break down and slowly perish. It seems cruel to expect them to wander around in this district, not accomplishing much. Handful more treated planks to go. Now, did this end up coming online? No, it did not. Why not? Oh. Well, that's silly. Okay. Simple enough to fix, though. We need to go one further. There we go. Now, that is online. There we go. And that way beavers will still be able to access this if I want them to. Iron part 16, you can now get to work. Oh, very soon, just a handful more planks. I don't think I pointed it out before, but I'm pretty certain the blue light even extends the inside of the tubeways with the bots. Fortunately, I don't have any bots moving through the tubeways, not that frequently. Like, there's just the occasional flash of blue that I'm pretty sure is one of the bots moving through the system. Which is quite neat to see. Unstaffed, unstaffed. I think we might be running a bit low on bots in this district. We're not retaining enough. Ah, did they just break down? Oh yeah, incapacitated. Of course, because they ran out of power. 50 out of power. It's ready. Yeah, bots transporting goods between districts would be quite an efficient way of handling them. A lot of what I currently have the bots on is just high entry goods, and like, realistically I could assign bots to just about every job under the sun. But that would be, if you want to get bot charging stations set up in every district and all that stuff, district crossings would be the place to handle it. But for now, that is an online Earth repopulator. Let's admire its glory. Yeah, it's got a big old system, big old catapult all set up. Well, more of a scorpion, I guess, really, the system. Ready to fling dwarfs. Dwarfs? I've got dwarf fortress on my mind. Ready to fling beavers off into the horizon. I don't see any reason to delay. goes. Yep, you see the well-being spiking as everyone gets the bonus. Boom. Beaver-fied. Rotate round to the next angle. Another one out. And it'll fly off to the horizon. Repopulate the world. Get a good look at this guy as he goes off. Can I click him? I can. Tezzy, off you go. The camera is not coping with trying to keep up with that chase. Yep. Boom. Fires off. I'm gonna have a little bit of look in the... it's already following just the underside of the system. I was curious what it looked like, but yeah, fairly undetailed. You can see the top of it there anyway. Congratulations! Well done. Your technological prowess allowed you to utilize the industrious strengths of the Ironteeth to conquer this map and build the faction's wonder. Your pioneers flew away over the wasteland, leaving the thriving settlement behind them. If Earth is to recover, the newfound beaver prosperity needed to be shared. Look at what that map started off as. Almost entirely barren, but now we have beavers everywhere. 923 days passed, almost 3,000 beavers born, over 40,000 water drunk, over 10,000 tails painted, 169,000 trees cut, 188 chipped teeth, 161 manufactured bots just in this last stream, all of those, and 271 dynamite detonated. Not that much dynamite, really. Look at the artwork of the beavers flying away into the wasteland. And that, I think, is going to be about that. See one of the pilots here for the next wave already. Got their hat on. Yep, plus 10. Satisfaction to all well-being to all the nearby beavers. Right, so that has, yeah, kicked average well-being up here through the roof. And actually got mining station to good well-being rather than awful. But on that little note, I think that's probably going to be it for today. And probably it for the colony too. Just have a last little scout around the map. Gonna examine how everything is developed. Little farming terrace with corn down on the fields below, coffee bushes, and this great big aqueduct. I really like how the earthen walls on this thing look, it's very nice. And up here we have all this farmland and these canals we got planted. This used to all be broken ruins, but we harvested all that for scrap metal. Down here on the floodplains, lots of farming going on. Crowd of poor, suffering robots. This lovely little river down past Wellspring, into Terminus. I really, really like these farms. It's a bit of a little understated area. And off to the side, it's not too much, it's not that essential. But it looks real pretty, this section. Up here through Canyon Town. 3 peaks, and this is a lovely settlement. Like, the divided valleys are great. Yeah. The insert name, you need to replace the URL with the appropriate part there. I got that rental floss. Oh well, I'll have a look into that sort of stuff. Now, down here, Lake Town. This was one of our kind of first major out of the little central park districts. And really, it didn't change too much once it was initially set up. We got a lot of what we wanted done immediately, and it's just kind of sat here. It was very important when it came to initial bad water engineering to stabilizing the whole water system. Of course, we have our central trio here, Lowtown, the Reservoir District, and of course, Topside, right where we started off. I still love this thing. It's a great industrial section. I do think, of all said and done, That's a nice angle. Just to here. That's probably going to be it for today. Whew. No, like I said, thank you very much for stopping by, folks. Thank you very much, various VOD folks. You know, and I will see you all next time, hopefully, for something completely different. Or I can probably finish up Timberborn for now. So I started mentioning it earlier, but I reckon next time when we come back, should be next Sunday, same time, same place, but playing a new game, kind of just came out very recently, Worlds Upon the Wind it's called. A little game I kind of encountered the demo of a little while back, and I'm quite looking forwards to. Like I said, that'll be next time. I have very much enjoyed Timberborn, and I hope, and you made it here to the end of me, my little rambling bit, you've all enjoyed it too. So thank you very much, Rental Floss, for sticking around. Thank you very much, Isu, for the raid earlier. Thank you to any VOD folks who've made it out to the end of here. But for now, no more Timberborn, I'm afraid, Rental Floss. For now, goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.